Here, Greg,
The moment's passed.
is it?
Yeah.
It's all done.
No, I'm
So
afraid
you did I
you
spoil
don't
it?
have the fleet of foot that I have, unfortunately.
But you sounded like you were in the studio. You should have went like, "Yes, folks, we're broadcasting
No,
live."
but we have very, very good quality outside broadcast equipment now. So, but anyway, listen, I'm here.
I know. Come here, you have a band in today. I found that out earlier. The
Aye.
Notions.
Hi.
The Notions.
Yep,
With the
they are.
Z.
And some of them are off school to come in, which is great.
How good is that?
I know, fantastic, but they have to go back.
No homework night.
I don't know.
Junior search out today. Best luck to everybody.
Best of luck to everybody.
You're Richie. You're scratching away yourself. What are you doing?
It's the juniors that's funny, or any exams are funny, because it seems so important, and it is really important. But at the end of the day, the older you get, the less important it becomes.
Yeah, but it's the biggest thing in your life when you're
At
doing
the
it, isn't
time,
it? Isn't it? Do
exactly.
you mind intermediate? Is that what you did?
Yeah, that was the last exam I did.
Was it? Did you do you didn't do the leaving
No.
cert? Did you not?
No.
Look at you now.
Look, exactly. Kids, do the leaving cert.
Yes,
please.
Yeah, I failed maths and everything and repeated twice. I was a bit lazy too, but I'm not saying be
I
lazy.
wasn't lazy. I
No.
just wasn't conditioned to that way of learning.
Yeah, but sure, everybody learns different now. Do you know
Aye,
what I mean?
exactly.
So we don't, you know yourself.
But here we are now.
There's you and there's me.
The weeks go slow, but the years go fast.
Oh, jeez. God, that's very deep. Go on, save the day. Will you read the news? Would you? Come on, I'm away.
All right, take
Good
care
luck.
of yourself, Lee. It is the 9 till noon show, a minute past 9. Let's get a news update. Good morning, Mr. Donald Kavanagh.
Thank you, Greg. And as you've been hearing from the Tilals, a record number of junior cycle students are collecting their results today. 71,494 students at the exam this year. They'll get their results in schools this morning or online from 4 p.m. It's the first time the number of candidates sitting the junior cycle or any of its predecessors, the junior cert or inter-cert, has exceeded 70,000. 2,571 sat the exams in Donegal. Josepha Madigan, Minister of State for Special Education and Inclusion, is encouraging students not to stress over the results.
They will be able to get their results online, which is a new facility compared to years ago when you'd have to physically go in. But look, either way, it's not the leaving cert, it's the junior cert, and it's a good way to see how, you know, they cope with a state exam, and they'll have another run at it when they have their leaving cert in a couple of years' time.
The Junior Disabilities Minister has acknowledged there's a pinch point with regards to recruitment in Children's Disability Network teams in Donegal, and that requires a specific response. At present, 56% of positions in the service remain unfilled. In the Dáil last night, Deputy Joe McHugh briefed members on a meeting which the HSE held with public representatives and parents in Donegal this week. Deputy McHugh told Minister Anne Rabbitte the parents presented the meeting with 4 proposals which they said would improve the situation in the short term. Minister Rabbitte pledged to assess and move on those recommendations as quickly as possible. She also confirmed she's in close contact with clinicians in the county.
I'm concerned about the CD&T team in Donegal for the simple reason it's a HSE team. And if we fail to recruit onto a HSE team, my options are very limited. So we have to make it incredibly attractive. The clinicians were incredibly helpful to me during the summer when I was down there. They're the ones that have told me what I need to do and what I am trying to do to ensure that we have a proper functioning team, not just in Donegal, but right across my 91s. But at the moment, there is a real clear pinch point in Donegal.
Rural TDs are calling on the government to urgently address what they say are alarmingly long waiting times for driving tests in many parts of the country. They say delays of up to 51 weeks in some areas are causing significant distress for thousands of learners, and they're urging the government to allow learners who have committed the mandatory 12 lessons to drive unaccompanied under L plates. Leader of the Rural Independent Group of TDs, Matthew McGrath, says the long wait times are having a serious impact on young people.
Like in Tralee, there's a 45-week waiting period, while in Clonmel there's a 28-week. Imagine 28 weeks, 7 months. And, you know, many of these young people want to go to college. They may have got apprenticeships in different places, different towns and cities, and they want to be able to get on the road to travel. Jobs aren't able to be filled because of this situation.
Mostly cloudy today with outbreaks of rain turning heavy and persistent in the afternoon and evening. A chance of some flooding and top temperatures of 12 to 14 degrees Celsius. Fresh and gusty east to southeast winds. Further spells of rain tonight with heavy falls bringing more flooding potentially. Lowest overnight temperatures 8 to 11 in moderate southeast breezes. That's Highland Radio News. We're back with news again at 10 o'clock.
It's the great autumn of savings at SuperValue with over 1,000 price cuts on all the big brands you love, like Heinz Spaghetti Hoops was $2.10, now $1.89. Selected Lenore Fabric Conditioner 33 wash was $3.65, now €3. And money off vouchers every week on the app too. So pop in for great savings in store or online this autumn at SuperValue.
The county's #1 talk show, The 9 till Noon Show on Highland Radio. And now, it's time for the talk of the Northwest. The 9 till Noon Show with Greg Hughes on Highland Radio.
Hello, good morning. Just approaching 5 minutes past 9 on this Wednesday, the 18th of October 2023. You're very welcome along to another edition of the 9 till Noon Show. How are you all keeping? Hopefully you're all doing well this morning. What are the roads like? I'm going to have to ask. I know people are waiting to hear what people are saying about one of the biggest changes, I suppose, to traffic, not wishing to overstate it, across the county in quite some time. That is the switching on of the Polestar lights. The lights on the Polestar roundabout. Again, I'm fully conscious that if you're in North Inishowen, West Donegal, in Donegal town, it's not going to interest you, but thousands upon thousands upon thousands of you will have already gone through those lights, going to those places, it has to be said. And it's early days. There's a bedding in process, there's a calibration process, but I know from reaction I got to a post on social media that a lot of people have things to say. So if you have something to say, not just criticism, if there's anything constructive to say as well, has your life improved as a result? As I say, it's morning one, so we have to give everything a chance to bed in, don't we? But what I will say, my observation was, or is, for me coming to work this morning, it didn't really make much difference. But I did notice extra traffic. It's all, like it helped me-ish, but I did notice extra traffic on other approaches that I don't normally see there. But anyway, what are your views? If you want to talk about it, that and so much more besides coming up, how do you get involved? 086 60 25,000, your WhatsApps and texts to that number. 086 60 25,000, or give us a call on 07491 25,000. Comments at highlandradio.com. And there's a ton of content on the show for you today, as always. So no excuse to go anywhere between now and noon, or for the rest of the day, for that matter, here on Highland Radio. Let's have a look at the newspapers this morning. The Finn Valley Voice. There's a massive gender pay gap in Donegal. It's official. Donegal women, many of whom are the breadwinners of the family, are paid less than women anywhere else in Ireland. They're also paid less than their menfolk, a lot less. Figures from the CSO indicate that the average Donegal woman takes home less than €500 per week, just under €200 less than her counterparts in Dublin. It's also some €100 less than the menfolk here in County Donegal. What do you think about that? On to the Inish Times this morning. Minister to visit hospital after consultants hit out. I'll wait with interest to see when this visit actually takes place. But we read on here from Declan McGee. The HSE has said it's aware of the challenges facing Letterkenny University Hospital after hospital consultants warned of a collapse in services unless action is taken. In a letter to Minister for Health Stephen Donnelly, 11 consultants called for an external review of services due to a crisis that is rapidly approaching a tipping point. The letter echoes concerns expressed by 78 GPs in Donegal, who also wrote to the Minister outlining grave concerns for patients at the emergency department. The Minister is now expected to visit the hospital as soon as possible. Donegal TD and Agriculture Minister Charlie McConalogue said he has had discussions with the Health Minister, adding that Mr Donnelly has pledged to meet with the GPs and consultants. And it would be really great if government reps such as Minister Stephen Donnelly would speak to the public as well through mediums like this, which is the People's Show. I would hope it's seen as that way, and I think it's a good opportunity for people to speak directly to those that listen. We have an ongoing, almost daily request for Stephen Donnelly to come on the show and just explain what the situation is, what he hopes to do, what he hopes to achieve. And he's a very busy man, of course, and we'll see when he is able to accept that offer. The Irish Times, hundreds killed after strike on hospital in Gaza City. This is just the most horrendous of stories, the catastrophic loss of life again, and I'm getting to the point whereby certainly Twitter /X, I'm thinking of coming off it because I was just scrolling through Twitter and was met by the most horrendous of videos. Now, as I said before, you know, people might say, but you need to see that to understand what's going on. I understand what's going on. I know what's going on. But there are things I happened to see as I was just scrolling through a social media platform that I never, ever want to see, and haven't been right since. And I can't even describe it to you because it is so shocking. But that is nothing my feelings is nothing compared to the actual reality of the situation and what people are facing over there. Hamas and Israel blamed each other for an explosion at a Gaza City hospital last night that health authorities said killed at least 500 people. Eyewitnesses described horrific scenes as terrified residents fled to the hospital with a huge fire burning in the compound. Hundreds of people were feared trapped under the rubble. The Gaza authorities immediately said Israel was responsible for the attack, but in a statement, the Israeli army said intelligence analysis had determined conclusively that the blast had been caused by an Islamic Jihad projectile aimed at Israel that fell short, hitting the Al-Hali Baptist Hospital. Islamic Jihad denied the Israeli claims, and there's a bit of confusion because there was a video that accompanied that statement from the Israeli authorities, but when the timelines didn't add up, they deleted the video from the tweet. Thousands of Gaza residents had reportedly fled to the hospital over the last few days, believing they would be relatively safe there from incessant Israeli airstrikes launched in the wake of the attack on Israel by Hamas on October 7th that killed 1,400 people in Israel, most of them civilians, the worst terrorist attack in Israeli history. Health authorities in Gaza say that prior to the hospital strike, at least 3,000 people in the strip had been killed in the Israeli bombardment, while some 600,000 people have fled to the south of the coastal enclave after Israeli military warnings. On to the Irish Independent, Mark McSharry, who is a South Donegal rep, mostly Sligo Leitrim, of course. South Donegal added on to that constituency. He is a former Fianna Fáiler, of course, then became a bit of a maverick. He's a regular guest on this show from time to time, which is an oxymoron, but he comes on from time to time. Well, the former Fianna Fáil TD Mark McSharry has revealed he will not contest the next general election. The long-serving Sligo politician's decision will bring to an end more than 2 decades in national politics. In a statement, Mr McSharry said it had been an extraordinary privilege to serve the Oireachtas since 2002. I'm eternally grateful to all the opportunity for all the opportunity to serve as a TD and Senator over more than 21 years. I'd like to thank everyone for the support and assistance, he said. I'm sure we'll get a chat with him before his tenure is complete. On to the Irish Daily Mail now, and the man accused of stabbing teacher Aisling Murphy to death told Gardaí, "I did it, I am the murderer." His trial is heard. On the opening day of the court case, the Central Criminal Court heard that Josef Puska, 33, admitted the crime to Gardaí on January 14th, 2022, 2 days after Ms Murphy was killed while jogging in Tullamore, County Offaly. The jury also heard details of her death, including that she had been stabbed multiple times. At one point, Ms Murphy's mother, Kathleen, broke down in tears while her father, Raymond, clasped her, his head in his hands. Her sister Amy and brother Cathal were also present in court yesterday. Incredibly difficult for that family to be going through that, having already endured and continuing to endure that loss. On to the Irish Daily Mirror now, and it doesn't send a really great road safety message out this. A Lamborghini driver no less, caught speeding at 217 kilometres per hour, 217 kilometres per hour, and who overtook a dozen cars during a 10-kilometre pursuit by Gardaí, avoided jail yesterday. At Castlebar District Court, Jason Wall admitted dangerous driving and was handed a 2-year ban. The court heard how he took full responsibility for his actions on a stretch of the N17 in County Mayo on September 16th. Ahead of the hearing, Wall said the Lamborghini, or sold it, and also took a driving course. But Judge Fiona Lydon branded his actions unacceptable, and he said he had no regard for the safety of others. So it's really quite interesting. In this country, you can drive at 270 kilometres per hour. You can overtake dozens of cars. You can be pursued by Gardaí for 10 kilometres and get a 2-year driving ban. That's really quite impressive, isn't it? It's almost like a green light for such behaviour. No jail time and effectively what comes across as a slap on the wrist. Were you travelling through Monaghan at all? It's possible. I know lots of people who like to buy lotto tickets when they're outside the area. Maybe one of you did. A lotto player has just a month left to claim a prize worth €1 million, 1 million euro, 1 million euro and 500 euro. However you would describe that. It's €1 million plus 500. Punters in Monaghan are being urged to check their old tickets from Saturday, August 19th. The massive amount was won in the Lotto Plus raffle, which usually sees between 60 and 120 winners of €500. But in a one-off event, each of the tickets with the winning Lotto Plus raffle number was put into a draw where one ticket was selected to win an additional 1 million. The winning raffle number was 3249. The quick pick ticket was bought at Centra on Main Street in Emmyvale, County Monaghan, on August the 17th. So was that you? Could have been you. You may have been travelling. I want to cut, by the way, if you find that ticket now and it was you, 10%. I think 10% is fair. And lastly, are you a glider, a clumper, or a crust avoider, is the question. This is to do with buttering your bread. A psychologist has revealed what your spreading on toast technique says about your personality. Human behavioural expert Darren Staunton reveals that gliders who glide the knife over the bread for an even spread, which is me, something 50% of the 2,000 adults polled claim to do, tend to be easygoing and calm in nature, which is literally not me. They are, it's all a load of nonsense because I'm a glider and I'm not calm. They are unfazed by hurdles or moments of stress. Literally not me. But anyway, that's that. So if you're a glider, apparently you're really chilled and cool. Clumpers are those who don't spread evenly and leave clumps on the bread. They are sporadic, thinking outside the box in life. And on it goes. I notice young ones find it difficult to butter toast, at least the ones I've come in contact with. Maybe it's a learned process, or maybe they're just not as relaxed and calm as I am, clearly. All right, good morning to you, Anita. You're listening in from the Cayman Islands. Have a great day yourself. What's the weather like over there, Anita? Tracy's with us as well. She's in Ardra. How are you doing, Tracy? Great to have you on board from a most beautiful part of the world. And Michael's there as well with us. They're all watching the show live. We have loads of guests for you to see over the next 2 3/4 hours. You can go onto YouTube and watch on your smart TV or your Fire Stick. Just type in Highland Radio Ireland. Give us a like and subscribe as well if you don't mind. And you can watch us across all of your devices, your laptop, tablet, phone, you know yourself. On YouTube, Highland Radio Ireland, on Facebook, which is Highland Hub or Highland Radio News and Sport. And get involved with us that way and say good morning and tell us where you're watching from. All right, we'll be back, as Lee actually mentioned earlier on. We've got a great young band in playing some live music for us. That's coming up about 10:30, so you can watch that and so much more besides. We'll be right back.
Are courtesy of Kelly Centra Mountaintop Letterkenny, the 2022 C-Store National Off-Licence of the Year.
The eagerly anticipated brand new production of the Broadway smash hit musical Sister Act is on its way to the Bord Gáis Energy Theatre in Dublin. Join Highland Radio as we make way to this unforgettable show on Friday 23rd of February 2024. Your trip includes luxury transfers, bed and breakfast at the 4-star City North Hotel in Dublin, your ticket to the show and a shopping trip to Dublin City Centre. For more information, call Highland Radio on 074 91 25000 or visit highlandradio.com.
Is fiú crí na chóir. Má churn tú iad ar de hala ferme mar chud den chlár foríiseach den nua. De tá luach séhir maithe áil inniu agus na blianta atá le techt. Johi tú takeíocht airgeadis, luach séhir leanúnach agus bet tú an behir de comport agus fis a gut gúil sro slán ancam an dit. Ní mór de éireann an oríiseach de bhéadú chun dul an nec leis an ahrú éráide chun an bhítheag súlacht den airtú agus chun árnaimhnacha a dheabhsú. Mar sin is fiú dit agus dúin go léir a bheittheag cór. Tá ólas faoin na rán ar fad ag gov.ie/forestry. Tionscanamh de chud rialtas na hÉireann.
Get ready for spooky season at Century Complex. This Halloween, we have a great selection of movies at Century Cinemas, delicious food and cocktails at Backstage Bar and Grill, and Century Plays Halloween Family Fun Day, taking place on the 28th of October from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Get in touch on 074 9121976 or visit centurycinemas.ie for more information.
At AXA, we know running a home can run up your costs too. That's why you can save up to 30% on our home insurance. Get a quote today. Together, we've got this. AXA. Know you can. Policy terms and conditions apply. Minimum premium is €160. A 30% discount is available after 3 consecutive years claims free, 15% after 2 consecutive years, and 10% after 1 year claims free. AXA Insurance DAC is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland.
Homeowners, it's time to unlock incredible savings on your energy bills. Efficient Renewables is here to reduce your energy consumption, say goodbye to skyrocketing costs, and hello to renewable energy solutions. With no VAT on solar panels and the generous grants for both solar panels and heat pumps, see these innovative systems in action in our state-of-the-art showroom in Newton Cunningham today. Contact Efficient Renewables on 074 97 08320.
Highland Radio time checks with Expressway. Travel Route 32 from Letterkenny to Dublin when you book online and travel for less. Expressway, bringing you the time at...
The time's 20 minutes past 9, and we're joined on the programme now by Anthea Landalan, mum of Kieran. You might remember Kieran. He went missing in September 2022. Now, a new special appeal has been shared by Missing Persons Helpline Ireland following what may well be the emergence of new information. Anthea, thanks for joining us today. I do appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
How are you holding up, Anthea? How are your days?
Well, 3 years on, I'm learning to live with this ambiguous loss. It's not knowing what's happened that is the most challenging, really. But most days I just get on with life. Life is to be lived, and I have to make the most of it. But
I wonder, are you on a mobile, Anthea? You know, mobile. Can you move slightly? It's just the line's not fantastic. Just in case it improves.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's just not fantastic. But look, talk.
Get closer to the router, maybe that might help.
Yeah, okay, that's actually already a little bit better. I think if it fails again, we'll reconnect because I want people to be able to hear your words clearly. Anthea.
Okay, that's fine.
All
Can
right.
you hear me now?
Yeah, okay, we'll continue and then I'll make a judgment call on that. So what new information has come to light and when did it come to light, Anthea?
Well, the new information I have is that somebody has sighted Kieran getting on a bus to Galway on the 29th of September 2020, which is 2 days after he went missing. It came to light because I have a Find Kieran site on Facebook, which is, I keep posting on there, and every time there's an anniversary of his disappearance, I put something on.
Mm-hmm.
And I got a response from this person who found she saw Kieran saying, I'll never forget that day when he jumped on that bus.
All right.
And I got back in touch with her, and she explained that she had witnessed him in the square in Dunfermline on the 20th.
Anthea, I'm just going to have to break away because, as I say, this is really critical. It's really critical information, and I want to give the listeners the best opportunity to hear you. So, if you just disengage the call there, I will come back to you in just a couple of moments. Okay, so I'll quickly nip to Kevin, and then we'll come back to. And then we'll come back to Anthea because, as I say, it's a really important issue that, and the phone line just is very, very poor. A caller says these delays as a result of the new lights will have huge consequences for bus and lorry drivers whose driving hours are regulated by tachograph regulations. The inevitable result will be catch-up speeding. But I presume professional drivers do encounter traffic delays reasonably regularly, would they not? Forgive me, Greg, if this seems a little cynical this morning. Just 48 people were brought to court for drug driving offences. Perhaps we should check the boot of the patrol cars to see if any checks are actually ongoing. All right, Kevin Fury, of course, works here at Highland Radio, regular commuter. Kevin, how are you getting on?
Good, Greg. Currently just going to pull in here at the moment. The traffic is built up basically from Lurgy-Brack School currently at the minute. Traffic is really, really heavy. So it is. Now, I set out my journey just before 8:30 this morning. So it's currently 23 minutes past 9. But I'm just going to get out here and just give you a quick indication of what we're seeing. Obviously, there is a lot of traffic, so you'll still be fit to hear me.
Yeah, be careful. We just switched off the hands-free there. Okay, so you there are on the 4 lanes.
Currently on the 4 lanes here at the minute. I'm just outside Robert Key Power Equipment here. So that the traffic is basically
Give us a look there so we can see
the whole way
it.
back.
Yeah, give us a look so we can see it, the traffic there. Let us see the traffic. Give us a look there.
So there is the traffic currently at the minute. As you can see, I'm just walking in the direction here of the Dry Arch, but the traffic is built the whole way up to Lurgy Brack School at the minute. So just to turn the camera around for you quickly here, just to give you an indication, that's what's currently up ahead of me at the minute. So traffic very, very heavy. Now, when I came in here yesterday afternoon, obviously the traffic lights were just
Someone
switched
seeing
on
you there
at
chatting.
that point.
Someone giving you a toot. Go on ahead, yep.
Basically, when I was heading in at that point, I basically was heading obviously up to Highland Radio, was in the right-hand lane, but the traffic lights went red. Someone had just shot across, and then someone coming from the other direction had just moved out at that point. So basically, when the lights went green for me, I basically had nowhere to go. So obviously, it's a very dangerous situation. And even at a busman pulled down, I can't say what he said on live radio, but he was a little bit on the frustrated side. But as you can see just there at the moment, I'll just show you again. Currently, traffic is just coming in.
And I'm not sure if you can hear me or if you can put me on speaker so I can communicate with you. Is that normal at the time that you travel in, that the traffic would be out the 4 lanes on the approach to Letterkenny so far?
Not usually. Usually possibly from the Clannery Hotel, maybe the whole way in, you would often find you'd have traffic, but never, up Lurgy Brack. Maybe once in a blue moon, maybe after a bank holiday or something like that, you may experience that, but you kind of know that. You kind of would leave extra time in the morning. But I obviously left extra time this morning because I was unsure what I was actually going to face coming in this morning. But likewise, I've seen people comment on your social media posts last night, and even people before I set out my journey as well this morning, people stuff up on Facebook about the traffic, and I know people that's where
Can I look at the traffic? It's great to see you, Kevin, but I see you every day. I just want to look at the traffic whilst you talk. And go ahead, yep.
So I'm just currently here. If you're just wondering where I am, just currently there here at Robert Key. So this is obviously we're getting a few honks from a few people.
Good to see the Highland Radio listeners are out in force. Go ahead.
I was just going to say that we've got plenty of listeners here this morning. But yeah, that is, I know you mightn't fit to see it on my phone, but obviously as I walk towards...
You're pointing at the fence, you see.
Pardon?
You're pointing your phone at the fence.
Oh, sorry.
Now that's better, yes. Okay.
I hold this in my hand. I have a gimbal and everything. My bag having in time to get it out, to get it ready.
Right.
But there you can see, obviously, the Clannery Hotel. And there you can see the traffic.
And the right-hand lane coming into Letterkenny seemed to move a bit more smoothly than the left-hand lane, of course. Well, Kevin, listen, maybe you might hop in the car and pick one of the other routes into Letterkenny and jump out with your gimbal, and some way you can hear me correctly, and we'll get an update as to the access from other roads. As I say, it's early days yet. The lights are on for the first morning. They have to be calibrated and all that kind of stuff. But of course, there are thousands of people affected by this, so it would be silly for us not to talk about it. But listen, maybe you might go to another of the roads accessing onto that Polestar, and we'll chat to you again in a wee bit, if that's all right.
Yep, that's perfect.
All right, thanks very much, Kevin. Really do appreciate it. That's Kevin Fury, who is looking at the traffic for us at the moment. Do I have Anthea back? Are you there? No, we don't have. Well, she's excellent, because as I say, to Caroline and Anthea and to listeners, it's just really important, and it's so important to her and those around her that that we can hear exactly what she's saying. Just at Creche over Leck, traffic back the whole way going into Old Town. It's a disaster. Is that normal, though? I need comparisons as to the way it would be for you. And also, maybe you got to work, school or creche a little bit quicker this morning than you ordinarily would at the same time. Let us know. Another caller says it's a wee bit built up on the Mount Errigal, but it flew through. The problem yesterday seemed to me all at Ramelton Road and up by the sorting office. Okay, good news. Greg, traffic to the top of Lurgy Brack. Get the council on now. Coming down from a drop-off at Lurgy Brack, absolute mayhem. Traffic backed up at Tinney's Roundabout. Another traffic madness this morning, stuck at Leck Graveyard the last 10 minutes and haven't moved. Traffic nearly back as far as Tinney's Toys. Was to be at work at 9, still in the traffic. Okay, keep them coming, those updates as to... and it's really interesting if you sort of give us a comparison. Give us a comparison as to what you normally experience as to what you're experiencing now. All right, back with more shortly.
Watch the show live now on YouTube, Facebook and at highlandradio.com.
Renault. Exceed all your expectations. Renault Megane E-Tech 100% electric with 220 horsepower, up to 450 kilometres range and an electric bonus. Renault will match the €3,500 government grant when you buy a new Megane E-Tech 100% electric. So save €7,000 on your new electric Megane today. Visit your local dealer to find out more. T's and C's apply. See Renault.ie.
At ESB Networks, we're connecting Ireland to a clean electric future. And as part of the National Smart Metering Programme, we're now installing smart electricity meters in your area. Your new smart meter will reduce the need for estimated bills, help you to manage your electricity usage more efficiently, and enable you to access smart electricity products and services. We'll contact you before your meter is installed. Find out more at esbnetworks.ie/smartmeter.
Have you heard about the McElhinney's M Card? Now available exclusively in store. Sign up today to start earning and redeem once you hit £500. Register in store at our M Card station on the first floor or at any till point. The M Card, the new way to save at McElhinney's.
Donegal Denture Clinic, Letterkenny. Denture problems? We can help. At Donegal Denture Clinic, we customise, personalise and tailor your dentures to suit you. Call us for a free consultation on 91 25 25 3. Find us at Ballyrain, Letterkenny, beside Rossin College. Medical cards welcome. For all your denture needs, call Donegal Denture Clinic on 91 25 25 3. Online at donegaldentureclinic.ie.
Easy Living Furniture's Oktoberfest sale ends this Sunday. Absolutely everything reduced with up to 60% off sofas, dining, bedroom and mattresses that are in stock and ready for delivery. With 0% interest-free finance available for up to 2 years and with no deposit, the decision is easy. Oktoberfest sale ends Sunday at Easy Living Furniture, Terryland, Galway, Sligo Retail Park, Sligo and Brafey Road, Castlebar.
Hi, Paddy here at Shane Conley Cars in Donegal Town. Are you looking to upgrade your car? With Shane Conley Cars, you'll find makes and models for every budget. Great finance options, and we also accept trade-ins. Check out ShaneConleyCars.com or call in to us at Shane Conley Cars from Lonaher Road, Donegal Town.
All right, a caller says, stuck in this now 15 minutes. It's backed up to Letterkenny Ready Mix. Another Greg Ashlown is being used as a shortcut now for traffic going to the college. So far, we've counted 47 cars in the last 18 minutes. Some have been told to slow down. Greg was in Letterkenny yesterday evening, a total disaster. They have the town destroyed with traffic lights and so hard to see now trying to get into the dry art shop coming in from the carriageway with the lights there and that big block of concrete in the middle of the road. Old Town Lismonaghan Leck is backed up now to another traffic also at past Tinney's on the Leck Road. Crazy, says another listener. Keep them coming into us. Okay. Now, there are calls for early intervention services for non-resident fathers. Damien Pilo is CEO of Truro and he joins us now. Good morning to you. Thanks for your time today. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much for having us.
We just heard the issue raised, was it this week or the end of last week, as it relates, and it's a separate issue, but I'm just wondering, is there a connection to it, as it relates to the legislation to have the right of fathers to have their name included on birth certs? Is that something your organisation welcomes, that the government has committed to correct the errors in the legislation to allow that to become law in most cases?
Absolutely. This is one of Troir's areas that we have really advocated for over the last number of years, that children have a right to their identity, and part of that is who they come from. And whether they or not they have a relationship with that parent, and usually it's the dad, they have a right to know who that person is and their extended family. And so we know that now from issues around adoption. We know how important identity is for children who are adopted. And it's equally as important for children to know who their father is. And so the Civil Registration Act that came out of the Children and Family Relationships Act, that it was recommended in the Children and Family Relations Act that the father's father's name would be mandatory on the birth certs. That has taken a long time to get to be put in place. And part of the difficulty was, we were told initially, was training for the registrars to be able to ask that question in an appropriate way that wouldn't traumatize the mother, and rightly so. But now we've been told that the legislation itself was clumsily written and has to go back to the Oireachtas. But we've been told that over 2 years ago that was going to be put into the next window of opportunity for legislative reform, and we're still waiting. So it's something that we're keeping our eye on. We've been told as of recently that it's still a priority for the government, but we're waiting because we think it's a really important one for all families and children.
And look, I know these situations can be distressing, and there can be lots of different extenuating circumstances, but anyone that goes to the GP in their 30s, 40s or 50s, one of the first questions you're asked is, what's your medical history? So for that reason alone, I think it's really important, if we care for children, to make sure they have that information as they mature and get older. And I know there's all the stuff that goes on, but it's so critical to treatment and care and everything else, and that's just one element of why it's important. The focus though of our interview is the report commissioned by Troir. It focuses on the experience of non-resident fathers. So are these fathers with that have no interaction with their children, that are struggling to get interaction with the children, that have court-mandated access to their children? Who was surveyed?
Well, it was primarily a cohort of those fathers. It was really aimed at fathers who wish to have a meaningful relationship with their child. And we thought about it from a child's perspective, and that's why the title is from children who wish to have meaningful relationships with their non-resident father, because we wanted to be a child-focused. And Troir always has believed that where possible to do so, children should have and develop meaningful relationships with both of their parents. And so some separated parents get on really well and they arrange that, no problem. But a lot of the callers to Troir's National Information Service would be from both mothers and fathers, whereby there's a lot of conflict between the parents in relation to rearing their children. And we wanted to have a deeper dive and look into what are some of the issues that are preventing children from developing and maintaining relationships with their non-resident fathers. So these are fathers who may have had court access, who may have had an arrangement with the mother, or who may know that they are father, but don't know quite, well, how do I go about beginning to develop a relationship with my child?
Right. So what are the main findings from your perspective, or recommendations coming from those findings, perhaps?
Yeah, well, what was really interesting was the collaborative piece of work that a number of us, Troir invited a number of organisations together that we knew that we respected each other's work, but may not have always been on the same page when it came to some issues in relation to the legal status of the non-marital family. And so we looked at how we wanted to dive into this piece of research and look at it in relation to what impacts children's development of a relationship with their father. And so what some of the big recommendations that came out of it were things that we kind of knew already, but really good to get the data behind it, that parents often had a very negative experience of the court service. That's not unexpected, but it was such a level that from both sets of parents, and particularly fathers, felt that the court services came from a perspective that they were always treated as secondary parents, that they weren't given equal status in their parenthood.
And do you know what that means as well? Sorry if for interrupting, Damien. What that means is that it could create an environment or a situation where a father might actually have to speak negatively of the mother in order to gain access, even if they don't want to necessarily. Exactly. Because if it is so heavily weighed to mothers, and one can understand what that might be, you might find yourself instantly having to actually chop them down somewhat to try and level the playing field. And a system that's set up that might encourage that is a poorer system.
Yeah, well, but courts are by their very nature adversarial, and that's not to say that everybody hasn't got a right to access the courts for justice and equality, but courts by their nature are adversarial, and you're absolutely right on both sides of that. Mums talk down dads, dads talk down mothers, and it gets very, very messy. And often what the research also showed, even though we have legislation and since the referendum about children, the voice of the child is seldom heard in the court. And that's something that really has to change. And so one of the big findings was that there needs to be early intervention support for families where parents don't live together, and the promotion of what we call shared parenting or co-parenting. And one of the contributors to the research and who spoke at the launch was a father from a rural area who basically said he had no notion, no concept of co-parenting, that all he was ever told was you have to go to court, you have to get your rights, you have to get this, you have to get that, mm-hmm. And it just led to constant conflict with the other parent. And what he would have loved was somebody to come at the very earliest stage and say, co-parenting works, mm-hmm. shared parenting works. Here's what you need to do. Here are the supports that you need to do. Here's how you de-escalate conflict.
But Damien, pardon my ignorance, right? Say in the absence of, say, domestic abuse or addiction or what have you, right? So you have two people. Is there not a sort of a framework that has been established that, you see if it fits a situation? In other words, do you know what I mean? People fall out, people move on. There's all those insecurities, all that kind of stuff, right? But would it not be good if we had a point, and maybe it's there, again, pardon my ignorant statement, whereby when there aren't any circumstances, challenging behaviours, that there is a framework that is accepted, that is best for the partners and the children, or the former partners and children, and then that's the starting point.
You're absolutely right. I'm so glad you put the caveat in, because in so many cases there isn't that issue of domestic violence, and you have just two people who either never were together or were together and fell out, and they don't trust each other, or they're not sure about each other, and they have gone down a route of conflict, even though they may try not to, and they both say they want each other in their child's life. While there are some great examples of a framework of some good supports in place, they're not not national. They're not available all over the country, and they're not well funded, so they're not well resourced. And the notion, and even that concept of shared parenting, isn't promoted. And so you don't have what people, if you Google it and you go online, you look at separated father or father looking for access to child, or even using father wants to have a relationship with the children, you get drawn to sites that either bring you into a thing about father's rights or mother's rights, and it can be very antagonistic language used and very inflammatory language, or it brings you down to the legal route, which is about you need to get this, and people do need to have their rights enshrined.
And I think we have to factor in and look at this in the wider picture as well, in terms of people's mental health. Yes. And the impacts that these have, because you can't say, for instance, in a court order situation, you can't take that in isolation. It also has to be factored in as to what the impact is on the individual. Of course, it's all about the child, but surely, and it can be for a man or a woman, that the court system has to have a wider responsibility and say, okay, and also we need a system that does as best as possible to remove any biases that a person making a decision might have. An ingrained bias. We don't know the background. We don't know their relationship status. We don't know if they've been through a breakup. I'm not questioning the judiciary, don't get me wrong, but we need a system that removes as much as is possible, removes any of those potential biases.
Absolutely. And what does happen now in many, many places is that as soon as you go into the courts, you're actually redirected towards mediation, which is a better system, which is a better way of working. But what often happens with mediation is that you get a number of sessions and you're quickly trying to reach a deal and negotiate a deal. What's wonderful about that is that parents, in theory, maintain the decision making. They don't ask a third party like a judge to decide on their behalf how it goes. That never works really, and it only works where people just cannot communicate with each other. But where the mediation works well is that people come to an agreement. The problem is implementation of that agreement. Dad doesn't show up on the time he's supposed to. Mum gets annoyed. Dad's maintenance mightn't be coming in. Mum gets annoyed. They withhold the child. And what we're really talking about is, if you come from the notion that it is in the best interest of the child to have both parents actively involved in a meaningful way in their child's life, and you keep that at the center of everything you do. You know, parents we think we're great at this. We think that we do that instinctively. But actually, we talk about the courts not listening to the child. We need to hear the child's voice. We need to understand that. And we need to be equipped to learn how to do that more effectively and better, so that we put the child's voice at the center. And when you do that, some of the issues and arguments don't seem as big a deal anymore. And some of the things that you're holding up over don't seem to be a big deal. And what you really need is a flexible working relationship, so that dad can actually be a helping hand in the care and raising of the child. That dad is really part, even if he has no relationship with the mother, the relationship is that they have a child together, and that they need to find a way of communicating. How did he get on today? What was it like? How was he upset? He was upset before in school today, so you might want to watch out for that when he's coming to you tonight. You know, so they're talking about those things.
The complexity of this, though, is emotion. You know,
yes,
emotion, and but again, a framework has to be in place to mitigate that as much as is possible. It can't be beyond us. What do you hope? What are you going to do with this report? Who is this furnished to now? You know, what ministry has any responsibility? Is there any appetite for reform?
Oh, there is. I mean, we're in the process of there's two major departments: Department of Justice and the Department of that long name Department of Children, that has Children Equality, Youth and Integration, and all of those. That's probably the primary department. But there's law reform at the moment. There's continuous efforts to try and change the law. So there's new ways of working in the courts. There's new investment in mediation. And what we're saying, that mediation needs to go beyond the current structure of mediation into some new pilots and collaboration with the community sector around pre-mediation and post-mediation and implementation. So we need to be pushing for a promotion of shared parenting, that framework you talk about is actually in people's mind, that when they have a child and they're not with the mother, they're not immediately thinking, go to court. They're immediately thinking, how shared parenting, that sounds like a great option. How do I become a better shared parent? How do I become a better parent? How do I become a better parent that's sharing the parenting of the child when I'm not living with the mother? And then there's a whole set of other structures that need to be put in place to allow that to happen. And so for dads at the moment, you know, if you're a single dad and you're co-parenting your child and the mother has more than 50% of care of that child as the primary carer, your ability to get accommodation that meets the needs of your family is much more difficult, because you're seen to be a single dad. And while you can go and look for an application for higher subsidies to go for a 2-bedroom apartment instead of a one, very often what we're finding is young dads, if they have a place at all, it's not appropriate to bring children. It's usually in a shared home, in a shared room with lots of other people. And mums are rightly saying, look, I don't know it's safe to bring the child on an overnight over there or even over there. So dads don't have safe places to engage with their children in meaningful ways. So it's often at low that they have a couple of hours access over during the course of the week or the weekends. And they're either out in the parks or walking around shopping centres if the weather's not good. And they don't have homes that they can bring that child into, that child can start.
And then, of course, too, that doesn't work, because when the children have a great time and they go home to the home and the confines of that, and the parent that has them around the park and the shopping centres seems like the best parent in the world. And so in a way, it's no harm sort of. And I think that's why there is this proposal for child contact centres across the country, which will make a lot of sense. Okay, Damien, thanks for your time this morning. Interesting stuff. We'll see how things progress from here. That's Damien Pilo, CEO of Churur. We're going back out onto the streets of Letterkenny with Kevin after these.
Dear John, it's me, Edward, from Jedward. I'm writing you this letter to break up with you because you thought it was okay to use an unregistered gas installer to fix the gas boiler. The one I got you for our birthday. Does gas safety mean nothing to you? You could have just found a registered gas installer at rgi.ie, but you decided to risk everything. I never want to see your face again. Goodbye forever. Your brother Jed. I mean, Edward.
Do you need a little extra help staying in your home? At Bluebird Care, we offer a wide variety of QMark-approved personalised home care services across Donegal. And our fully trained and committed staff will always meet your care needs with kindness, compassion and dignity. To get your personal home care assessment plan, visit bluebirdcare.ie or call our care team today on 07491 29562 and bring care home.
It's the home of the vegan butchers, the artisan bakers, the freestyle lyricists, and the trouser suit striders. It's the urban jungle, where the everyday meets the latest wave. And you could see it all from your Seat SUV. From the sharp lines and smart style of the Arona to the bold and beautiful Ateca. And if size is your thing, the Tarraco comes as a 7-seater. See what's in store at seat.ie for our latest offers. And visit DMG Motors, Clough Road, Donegal Town. Because your new Seat is just waiting to see what's next.
Hello there, this is John McNichol inviting you to join me at my music weekend at the Clannery Hotel in Letterkenny. On Friday the 20th of October we have Philomena Begley and Brenton Shine. On Saturday the 21st we have Louise Morrissey and Stephen Smith. And on Sunday afternoon we have Gary Gamble, Sandy Kelly and David James. Come join us for a wonderful weekend. You can pay at the door. We look forward to seeing you there.
Highland Radio weather updates with Ireland West Airport, where you can now fly daily to London Heathrow with Aer Lingus and connect via Heathrow to over 80 destinations worldwide, including Boston, New York and more.
Mostly cloudy today with outbreaks of rain moving in, turning heavy and persistent in the afternoon and evening with a chance of flooding. Temperatures 12 or 14 degrees. Okay, what's it like out on the streets of Letterkenny, Kevin? What's the weather like?
It's cold. I can admit.
Okay.
There's lots of rain and everything here on the camera, so if I do look a bit smudged, that's what it is to start rain here at the minute. But what I've done, obviously, I've come through the roundabout. I'm currently here at Rossview Business Park, but I'll just share my experience just coming through the traffic lights. So just as I approached the roundabout, the lights actually turned green, so it wasn't so bad. But obviously, when I got halfway around then, they did go red. And then when they went green again, the problem was the traffic coming from the roundabout heading up towards, as we call the Pennies roundabout then, that traffic was then built up. So basically when the lights turned green for us to come up this way, obviously we basically couldn't go.
So you were green but blocked by traffic?
We were green but blocked by traffic. Okay. That's basically what it was.
So this is the road now coming past the IT or the ATU towards the roundabout that you're on here now, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're opposite Lidl
or
Aldi
turn the
there.
camera around here so you can see there is the roundabout there. Okay. I'm just here at Rossview Business Park, just opposite Lidl. Now I did look across.
Well, there's not much traffic behind you there, so
no, there's actually not. You can see there at the minute. There's actually nothing. There's only literally 2 vehicles. That's all we have at the minute, and a couple of passengers waving to us there, and but no, there's no traffic. Also, too, coming from the direction of the Mount Derrigal. I mean, I think I only counted about 7 or 8 cars at one point now. A few more did come, but there's no build-up of traffic.
Right, walk down towards
direction.
the roundabout there and give us a look at the road with the Mount Terrigal there. Oh, yeah. How far away are you? Miles away, are you?
Is what you're seeing at the minute now. I don't know if you can see up ahead. You can see a bin lorry there, but the traffic is built up the whole... Now, if you look in the direction, obviously, that I've just come there from the Dry Arch roundabout, traffic seems to be moving pretty okay in that direction. We can see vehicles at the Dunn stores coming from the direction of the new Dunn stores. We can see a build-up of traffic there now. I said I didn't actually look over in that direction, so I'm not 100% sure what the traffic is.
So we must remember also, too, that we are now outside rush hour. It's 10 to 10, 8 minutes to 10, so we're not in rush hour any longer.
Yeah. Well, that was one of the things I did bear in mind this morning, that considering I was going to be that little bit earlier, was it a case this morning that maybe I was just a bit earlier and the traffic is usually this bad, but obviously I'd have been in numerous times, been early, whatever, but it definitely would not have been as bad as that. So you can see this is currently the roundabout here, so traffic currently stopped there at the minute at these lights.
And that's letting traffic out, okay. I see. Still to be quite a bit of traffic on the 4 lanes there, and then out that road. I don't know what these roads are called. I'm useless. I should be doing a different job. But the approach past the Mount Terrigal to the roundabout seems to be moving all right there, is it?
Yeah, it's flowing quite normal. So it is actually at the moment. And as I said, bear in mind this is about 15, 20 minutes ago, it was flowing quite normal as well. And obviously, I know there's vehicles there in the way at the moment, but just when these go past, just give you a quick glimpse.
Yeah. Okay.
Traffic doesn't seem to be too bad coming from the direction of the new Duns, obviously. So clearly the problems, I don't know, maybe earlier on, maybe there's listeners out there maybe like to text in and tell us what it was like a little bit earlier on coming from that direction. Maybe it was pretty bad, but it looks going to be. Look, actually, currently.
Yeah, things are moving quite well. There's no traffic on it. But as I say, there still seems to be quite a bit of traffic out the 4 lanes. So anyone on the 4 lanes, when it's safe to do so, let us know. Let us know if things are moving in an inward fashion. All right, Kevin, listen, thanks for that. Thanks for the insight. I appreciate it. We all appreciate it.
No bother at all.
All right, take care of yourself. Jeanette's with us as well. Jeanette, what's your experience? Good morning to you.
Hello there. I left Buncrana at 10 to 10 and I am up here for an appointment now at 10 to 11. The traffic coming in from Clanree to the Polestar roundabout was literally 4 minutes, and there's no traffic heading towards the New Link Road at all. It's moving very, very well.
Brilliant. So, in other words, you allowed yourself lots of time. You're ahead of schedule.
Yeah. I'm ahead of schedule. I normally take 45 minutes from Buncrana doing it, and today I was literally only 5 minutes over, which was perfect. And I'm in plenty of time, so now the traffic's going well. It reminded me of heading in to the New Link Road and in Belfast. If you're in time or you're taking your time, everything's moving great.
Yes, exactly. It's so true. And if you're up against the clock, everything goes against you. But as I say, you know, we're not here to sort of say that this is a disaster. And I really appreciate, Jeanette, you sharing your positive experience, because it's really important that we get that balance struck. And things look like they're moving really quite well now, although, as I say, we are past rush hour. Okay, Jeanette, listen, thank you very much for that. You're happy with how things moved, and you're happy with how your journey from Buncrana into Letterkenny went?
It definitely went very... Do you know what? I would actually go as far as to say it was maybe better today than it was some other days coming to this Polestar roundabout from the Dunstore side. So now done very well.
Brilliant. Okay, that's great stuff. Jeanette, thank you.
Okay.
All right, take care of yourself. All right, bye-bye. So that's Jeanette's experience, which is a positive one, and they're very much welcomed as well, by the way. We're just trying to get a full sense of what's going on. Let's get to some more of your comments here. I live on the Leck Road in Letterkenny, and I left it late to go to work in the hope that the traffic would be clear. Normally it's clear by 9:15. This morning I'm still sitting in the street trying to get out. How are these lights making traffic easier, or is it the car drivers as usual jumping them, adding to the traffic jam? You wouldn't want to be jumping the traffics on the traffic lights in the Polestar. Dave, good morning to you. What's your experience?
Hi, Greg. Yeah, my wife was on it there. Not too bad at this time of the day, but I suppose you got to give it a chance to start bed in. But in my own opinion there, like, you know, while the access is blocked off, there's no exits free from the roundabout at the busy times, at the best of times, you know. So while the exits are blocked getting off, I can't see how the roundabout would work, you know.
Yeah, because you kind of...
compare it to the one in...
Go ahead, Dave, sorry.
Yeah. Sorry, no, people compare it to the round in Derry there by the bridge, by the Foyle Bridge. And the thing about that roundabout is that every exit is free when your green light comes on. You can get away, you know. Whereas Letterkenny is different there, you know.
Yeah, we heard from Kevin there that he was stopped on the roundabout on red, but the lights turned green, and because people were still stuck on the roundabout, not able to get off the exits, there was no advancement even on green. That really talks to what you're highlighting there.
Yeah, also I thought there, like, I mean, maybe a missed opportunity now, but the new road, which is a good road and all, but maybe 3 lanes coming in would have been a better idea, so that people could get down the Neil T. Blaney Road and away, where it's not blocked, you know.
I get you.
But as it is, you're sitting halfway up the Port Road, and you can't get to the Blaney Road to get in.
Yeah, I understand. I understand exactly what you're saying. All right, Dave, listen, thanks very much for your insight. Let us know when you're on it at peak times. Cheers, Dave. Thanks very much indeed. Right, let's take a break for the news and obituary notices. Loads to come on the show. Keep your texts, calls and comments coming in.
This is Peter Power from UNICEF with an emergency appeal for children affected by the crisis in Gaza. Right now, hundreds of thousands of children are in extreme danger. Innocent children have been killed, injured and left homeless. Terrified children desperately need medical supplies, shelter and clean water. UNICEF is on the ground in Gaza, but we urgently need your help. Please donate now at unicef.ie to support our work. Thank you.
I'm Lorraine Keane, and I hate feeling tired and hormonal. Yet that's exactly how I felt when my perimenopause started in my late 30s. For nutritional support, I chose Irish supplement Clean Marine Menamin. Why? Because Menamin contains omega-3, vitamin D, and also vitamin B6, which contributes to the regulation of hormonal activity and helps reduce tiredness. All in just 2 capsules a day. Ask for Menamin at health stores and pharmacies, or learn more at cleanmarine.ie. I'm glad I did.
PDO thread lifts and skin boosters, which rejuvenate the skin by improving facial contours, lifting and tightening the jowls, neck, cheeks and eyebrows, are available at Genesis Aesthetics and Skincare Clinic, Gweedore. To choose the right aesthetic treatment for you, contact Mary Ferry, your aesthetic practitioner. Also offering fat-dissolving treatments, dermal fillers and laser treatments for all skin conditions. Hair and makeup packages also available. Genesis Aesthetics and Skincare Clinic, Gweedore. 07495 325 75.
Some cars pass by unnoticed, and others catch your eye. There's something about them, something different, something that just speaks for itself. The Opel Astra, a new generation Astra, a car that just has to be experienced on every level. Named Continental Tire's Irish Compact Car of the Year 2023, the Opel Astra speaks for itself. Test drive the Opel Astra at Manor Motors Opel. See manormotors.ie for details.
Donegal Denture Clinic, Letterkenny. Denture problems? We can help. At Donegal Denture Clinic, we customise, personalise and tailor your dentures to suit you. Call us for a free consultation on 91 25 25 3. Find us at Ballyrain, Letterkenny, beside Rossin College. Medical cards welcome. For all your denture needs, call Donegal Denture Clinic on 91 25 25 3. Online at donegaldentureclinic.ie.
Live, on air, online and on the Highland Radio app. This is Highland Radio News.
Good morning, it's 10 o'clock. Donald Kavanagh at the news desk. A cross-border appeal has been issued in relation to a man who's been missing from Inishowen for 7 weeks. Gardaí have renewed an appeal and seeking the public's assistance in tracing the whereabouts of 14-year-old Stephen Boyle, who was reported missing from Burnfoot on the 22nd of August this year. He's described as being approximately 5 feet 6 inches in height, of medium build, with light brown hair and blue eyes. It's unknown what Stephen was wearing when he went missing. Gardaí are concerned for Stephen's welfare, and at their request, the PSNI has also issued an appeal for information about Stephen Boyle's whereabouts this morning. A record number of junior cycle students will collect their results today. 71,494 students sat the exam this year. They can get their results in schools this morning or online from 4 p.m. It's the first time the number of candidates sitting the junior cycle exam or its predecessor, the Intercert, has exceeded 70,000. 2,571 students sat the exam in Donegal. Josepha Manigan, Minister of State for Special Education and Inclusion, is encouraging students not to stress over the results.
They will be able to get their results online, which is a new facility compared to years ago when you'd have to physically go in. But look, either way, it's not the leaving cert, it's the junior cert, and it's a good way to see how, they cope with a state exam, and they'll have another run at it when they have their leaving cert in a couple of years' time.
The Junior Disabilities Minister has acknowledged there is a pinch point with regards to recruitment in Children's Disability Network teams in Donegal, and that requires a specific response. At present, 56% of positions in the service remain unfilled. In the Dáil last night, Deputy Joe McHugh briefed members on a meeting which the HSE held with public representatives and parents in Donegal this week. Deputy McHugh told Minister Anne Rabbitte the parents presented the meeting with 4 proposals which they said would improve the situation in the short term. Minister Rabbitte pledged to assess and move on those recommendations as quickly as possible. She said she's also in close contact with clinicians in the county.
I'm concerned about the CD&T team in Donegal for the simple reason it's a HSE team. And if we fail to recruit onto a HSE team, my options are very limited. So we have to make it incredibly attractive. The clinicians were incredibly helpful to me during the summer when I was down there. They are the ones that have told me what I need to do and what I am trying to do to ensure that we have a proper functioning team, not just in Donegal, but right across my 91s. But at the moment, there is a real clear pinch point in Donegal.
The Taoiseach and Foreign Affairs Minister says the International Criminal Court must investigate last night's explosion at a hospital in Gaza that killed at least 500 people. Hamas says it was an Israeli airstrike, but Israel's military insists it has evidence to show it was another group, Islamic Jihad, That group denies responsibility. The US President has just arrived in Tel Aviv, where he'll meet with the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. A planned meeting with the Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas that was to have taken place in Jordan has been cancelled following the Gaza explosion. Taoiseach Micheál Martin says the images emerging from Gaza are horrific.
And the appalling images and the commentary and the claim and counter-claim. And I condemn unreservedly the attack on this hospital. I do believe that the International Criminal Court, which has jurisdiction over Israel and the occupied territories, should investigate this.
Rural TDs are calling on the government to urgently address what they say are alarmingly long waiting times for driving tests in various parts of the country. They say delays of up to 51 weeks in some areas are causing significant distress for thousands of learners. They're urging the government to allow learners who have completed the mandatory 12 lessons to drive unaccompanied under L plates. The leader of the Rural Independent Group, Matty McGrath, says the long wait times are having a serious impact on young people.
Like in Tralee, there's a 45-week waiting period, while in Clonmel there's a 28-week. Imagine 28 weeks, 7 months. And, you know, many of these young people want to go to college. They may have got apprenticeships in different places, different towns and cities, and they want to be able to get on the road to travel. Jobs aren't able to be filled because of this situation.
Weather forecast mostly cloudy today with outbreaks of rain turning heavy and persistent in the afternoon and evening. A chance of flooding in top temperatures of 12 to 14 degrees Celsius. Fresh and gusty east to southeast winds. Tonight, further spells of rain with heavy falls bringing a chance of more flooding. Lowest overnight temperatures 8 to 11. Again, moderate southeast breezes. Tomorrow, Thursday, a mix of dry spells and showers in top temperatures of 14 to 16 degrees Celsius. That's Highland Radio News. We're back with news headlines again at 11 o'clock. Regular updates, of course, on our website, highlandradio.com. But for now, from the news team, good morning. The obituary notices for this Wednesday morning, the 18th of October. The death has occurred of John McGowan, Arranmore Island. His remains are travelling today on the 2:30 ferry to Arranmore to repose at his sister's residence. Rosary nightly at 9 o'clock with house private police after the rosary. Funeral Mass on Friday morning at 11 in St. Cronus Church, Arranmore, followed by interment in the adjoining cemetery. The death has taken place of Eileen Foster, née Aiken, Moyle Hill, Milford, formerly of Drumherriv, Rimelton. Requiem Mass on Friday morning at 11 o'clock in St. Peter's Church, Milford, followed by burial in Milford Cemetery. The Mass can be viewed at churchservices.tv. House strictly private, please, at the request of the deceased. Family flowers only, please. Donations in lieu if desired to the Donegal Hospice, care of any family member. The death has taken place of Mary Kavanagh, 74, Gleneagles, Derry. Funeral from her home on Friday morning at 9:20, going to Our Lady of Lourdes Church, Steelstown, for Requiem Mass at 10 o'clock. Interment afterwards in the city cemetery. Family flowers only, please. Donations in lieu if desired to the Foyle Hospice. Family time, please, from 8 p.m. until 12 noon. The death has occurred of Sheila Friel, née Herity, Coshia, Birch Grove, The Lag, Milford. Sheila's remains are reposing at her home. Funeral from there tomorrow morning to St Mary's Church, Fanavolti, for Requiem Mass at 12 noon, with burial afterwards in the adjoining graveyard. Rosary tonight at 9 with family time, please, from 10 o'clock tonight and before the funeral tomorrow. Donations in lieu of flowers if desired to Fanet, care of the aged, care of Eamon Scott Funeral Directors or any family member. The death has taken place of Barbara Ann Stewart, née Dunbar, 16 Rockley Road, Castlederg. Service of thanksgiving for the life of Barbara will be held in 2nd Castlederg Presbyterian Church tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock, followed by interment in Castlederg New Cemetery. Family flowers only, please. Donations in lieu if desired to Macmillan Nurses and Chest, Heart and Stroke made payable to Robert Armstrong and Son Funeral Directors. And the death has occurred of Dorothy Alcorn, 2 Bluestack Drive, Drimarone, Letcher Barrow. Removal from Gallagher's Funeral Home, Station Road, Mount Charles this afternoon, going to Holy Trinity Church, Dunfanaghy, for service at 2 o'clock with burial afterwards in Clonderhorky Cemetery. For family information and more details regarding wakes and funerals, please go to highlandradio.com.
Highland Radio.
Why shop at Aldi? That's easy. Aldi's been voted the best family-friendly supermarket by parents in Ireland, Ireland's most sustainable supermarket, and the most reputable supermarket by Irish shoppers. Aldi has also just bagged another 46 Bloss Awards, been crowned Drinks Retailer of the Year, awarded 63 Star Awards at the Great Taste Awards, and picked up Ireland's first ever Diamond Award at the International Taste Institute Awards for some of our Irish specially selected steaks. So many awards for one supermarket. Aldi, every day amazing.
The county's #1 talk show, the 9 till noon show on Highland Radio.
And you're very welcome back to the programme. Good morning if you're just tuning in. We've a busy couple of hours for you. We've live music coming up in this hour with a great young band. And also, thanks Niamh, Grace, sorry, I beg your pardon. And also we have, what else do we have? We are going to be celebrating 50 years of Letterkenny Rugby Club. That's coming up shortly. Let's see. Hi. Can someone explain how emergency vehicles can get from the Dry Arch to the Polestar roundabout when traffic is at its highest with nowhere for cars to pull in? That's a question that's concerned me. If it was someone I love in the back of the ambulance, is there anyone involved in the ambulance service listening? I know you do, that might give us an insight. Is there any concerns in that regard, or is there an action plan for access to the hospital via the Derry Road, particularly during peak times? Not one councillor from Letterkenny come on this morning to explain this traffic mess. Funny that. Well, we didn't invite anyone on, in fairness. If any councillors are listening and they have concerns, I think in fairness, it is a case of wait and see. They're brand new. First time they've dealt with morning traffic. The teams are out in the ground calibrating them, making adjustments where they need be. It's not going to be perfect from day one, so I don't suppose there's any advantage in any knee-jerk reactions. Perhaps if a councillor came on, they'd be accused of trying to be populist when the council themselves has said it's going to take a week or two before they're refined, and I suppose really we have to reserve judgment there. But that being said, with thousands and thousands and thousands of cars going through the Polestar roundabout, it's not something we could ignore in the programme either, but trying to strike a balance, but at the same time getting the views of people out there. I went through the traffic lights yesterday. I drive that way out in the morning and back in the evening. Yesterday it took me an hour to get from the post office at the mountaintop to the Dry Arch. It's crazy, says that listener. 8:55 this morning, we hit traffic back up at Tower Court Junction heading towards the Polestar roundabout. Reminded me of a busy bank holiday weekend with traffic. Some cars made a U-turn, made alternative routes. However, traffic moved nicely. Maximum 12 minutes from Tower Court to get through traffic lights at the Polestar. Good experience. I don't think it would have been moving as smoothly without the traffic lights. Keep it moving. Another school bus driver here doing the same route at the same time 5 days a week to St Bernadette's and Little Angels through Old Town on way in and through Polestar on way out, and I'm back in the house 5 minutes later than normal. Traffic was heavy where it's normally heavy. It just seems to me a great shame to spend all that money on lights for what looks like no gain. For you, of course, but you see, maybe there are others and we're hearing from them that had a similar experience. My experience was 5 or 6 minutes later than normal. Another, only one way to see if the lights or people are the problem. Put a council worker at every light to make sure people aren't stopping at the box junction. If it's the fault of people, they'll never work. Took me 15 minutes from the Dry Arch to the Polestar. Seems to be delayed if you're coming into the station roundabout. Another, of course, the traffic is okay. Now it's 10 o'clock, and that's something that we recognised through the course of that conversation. Rush hour is over, another listener pointed out. Yes, indeed. But also, okay, we were establishing what it was like when it was busy, and then as it eases off, how things are moving. It's nearly 10 o'clock. People are at work and at school at this stage. Of course, yes, I get that. And as I say, we recognise that at that time. Just left Letterkenny via Remelton Road. No delays on the way out. If you're texting these in, a bit of the time might be useful. Right, okay. The dual carriageway down to one lane just as the traffic lights are switched on. Surely this was not the week to do this work. Who makes these decisions? You think traffic is bad today? Wait till tomorrow morning. Just at the creche over Leck, traffic. Now, these are texts that have come in over the course of the morning. When they say just at creche, this was when it was busier. Traffic backed the whole way going into Old Town. A disaster. It's never like this at this time of the morning. You may meet some traffic as you approach the Old Town Bridge at Duns, but never to this extent. It's a real disaster. I live in Lurgy Brack. Took me 45 minutes to go to the Dry Arch shop to get milk. 1.5 kilometres. Total disgust. Hi, Greg. Business owners and multinational companies and residents in Letterkenny need to get together and pull all the councillors in their area across the coals. It's their lack of real work and selfishness has the town the way it is. People will go elsewhere for shopping. God bless the person or child in the back of an ambulance fighting for their lives trying to get through that mess. Now, in fairness to the councillors, they raise these issues regularly. They've called for boxes on certain roundabouts, plans of action here, there and everywhere. The councillors' powers in this regard are limited. They can make representations, but they don't have to be accepted. If a councillor proposes a motion and it is seconded, it's still an executive decision whether or not that motion is passed on. Certainly, too, there is a situation whereby some of this is council controlled, some of it is TII. So, as I say, I'm not here to sort of advocate on behalf of councillors, but I do understand what they can and what they can't do. They can make representations. Are they responsible for the traffic gridlock around Letterkenny? No, really, because these are executive decisions, roads department decisions, TII decisions, and they're all really above county councillors' control. Yes, they have some input in some things, but at the end of the day, these are executive decisions which may well work out as well. We are being fair as we can to say, let's see how things go over the next wee while.
It's time for NCBI Bingo on Highland Radio.
It's Wednesday, the 18th of October. You're playing on the blue sheet. The reference number is S8. It's game number 42. The numbers are 30, 68, 5, 54, 14, 81, 67, 58, 18, and finally 6. Phone your claim to 9104833 before 8 tonight, leaving your name, contact number and the name of the shop where you purchased your book, and we'll call you back the next working day. Get all your NCBI bingo information at highlandradio.com.
Keep out the cold, 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 and ring Fleming for their full range of garage doors, agri doors, insulated doors, milking parlour doors. Fleming, 91 48 234.
Do you need a UK address? Save hundreds of euros on custom charges shopping online with Space Hub Dairy. We provide a full virtual office address mailbox service for all your business and personal use. Save your business hundreds, possibly thousands, on custom charges with Space Hub Dairy. Call 048 7187 8077 for more details.
All you need to make your house a home at Patterson's The Hall Ifford. Christmas Layaway Club now open with lots of Christmas gift ideas in store, like Hollywood mirrors, dressing tables, beanbags and much more. Need a new mattress? Visit our sleep centre on the first floor with quality beds and mattresses at discount prices. In stock and ready for immediate collection or delivery. Open Monday to Saturday 9am till 5:30pm with hot lunches served daily in our coffee shop. Patterson's Kitchens and Interiors. The Hall Ifford.
Má rinneach cara de cuine, is féidir leat a bhraca bhfuil tú fógathe sa dúrchadas. Tá sé tábhachtach a hiiscint go bhfuil cabhair ar fáildit. victimscharter.ie, chuirtar ólas ar fáildit ar thairmhísí aistriúcháin, ar na cearta atá agat, agus ar an tacaíocht atá ag teastáil uait. Tá cearta agat, tá tacaíocht agat, tá go agat. Faide cuidse ag gart na níospartach. Ar na cur ar fáildit ag rialtas na hÉireann.
Okay, now hopefully we have Anthea Langdalen back with us. Good morning, Anthea.
Good morning, Greg.
Oh, that's much better. As I say, it's so important.
Good.
I wanted to make sure everyone could hear you.
Thank you very much.
People will know that your son Kieran went missing in September 2020. You are very active in social media, trying to trigger people's memories. And off the back of a post that you made, you received contact from someone with some further information. So if you could pick it up from there, Anthea.
Yes, that's right. Somebody contacted me on the site, Find Kieran, and said that they remembered him jumping on a bus that day. Now, it was 2 days after he was reported missing. Now, I met this lady in Falcarra a few days ago because I was over in Donegal and back in the UK now, and I'm convinced that she believed that she did see Kieran at that time. Obviously, I'm keeping an open mind because it's 3 years ago, and it could well have been another occasion when he jumped on a bus from Dunfanny. You know, I'm not holding out too much hope, but after having met her, I do believe that she was convinced. It was 2 days after he went missing.
Yeah, and there's enough there for you to give it some credence, as you say, but also keeping in mind timelines and what have you. So is it possible that Kieran just wanted to hop on a bus and get away? And
yes, quite possible. Quite possible. That's characteristic. He really. He had difficulty with authority, had difficulty fitting into society. He was on disability benefit one time. He didn't want to be on it. He wanted to try and find work, and then he couldn't keep up with being on the dole. He was missing appointments, and he just found it overwhelming. He was actually, at one point, he was offered a flat in Falcarra. And he stayed. I think he stayed actually under the stairs in the apartment block. Didn't sleep in the apartment and went back to the derelict house that he was living in. He did not want to be part of, society. Really.
So it is plausible that he just wanted to go off grid.
Exactly, yes. And he was familiar with Galway because he came with me one time not so long before. And he liked Galway. But, yes, I mean, it's quite possible. I'm, as I say, I'm keeping an open mind. I'm not getting too agitated about it.
No, and I think you can't allow yourself to, can you, in reality?
No.
And really, I mean, he's a fully grown adult. At this point, at this point, really, you would accept just contact to say this is the way I'm living my life, or and we can't rule out the fact that the searches were targeted searches for a particular reason. That can't be ruled out either. Yes. But at this point, Anthea, particularly given Kieran's nature, then if that's the way he wants to live his life, okay, but let Mum know so that you can at least have some peace of mind.
Exactly. Yes, I don't want to interfere with his life. I've always been there to try and support him in the life that he wanted. But unfortunately, mental health got in the way, and it is what it is. But yes, absolutely. I mean, this piece of news, if I choose to believe it, which I want to believe it, it means that he didn't walk up to the top of Hornhead and end his life there. Yeah. That means that he did get on a bus and he's living rough, or he's found a community somewhere. I mean, if you think about it, we've got an awful lot of homeless people living on the streets of the cities, and they survive.
With relative anonymity as well, sadly, in many cases. With relative anonymity as well, sadly, in many cases.
Oh, absolutely, yes, and it's their right, I suppose. It's not up to us to decide.
Did Kieran have a passport? I mean, presumably he also, if he didn't perish, as you outlined, he could be in Britain. Could he be beyond Britain?
I don't think so. I think his passport. I haven't actually got the passport. I think the guards did find a passport.
Okay.
So, yeah, because previously he had actually taken off and was ended up in Amsterdam. He was found wandering around the airport with no money and no ticket. So that was a few years before. But so it's quite possibly went somewhere, but he won't have a passport to go abroad.
And would he have a means of contacting you, Anthea? If his mobile phone is not there any longer. Would he be active on social media? So in other words, even if he took a notion today to say, right, I want to let my mum know I'm okay, but I want to be left alone, for an example, it would be very difficult for him to make that contact, I'd imagine, at this point.
Not really, because I'll be honest with you, Greg, I'm not really a great fan of Facebook.
Okay.
But I've kept the Facebook site open. Purely for Kieran's benefit, because he always said that's the way he wanted to communicate with
Right.
me. He wasn't going to pick up the phone. He would always, let me know via Facebook. So that's why I keep my page open, and also, of course, I put the Find Kieran. Social media is great for getting the word out. So I've kept that. So.
All right. Well, Anthony, I hope that there's some developments from this, and that you get some peace of mind. But thank you,
Thank you very
and hopefully, if anyone has any further information, they can contact us, and we'll pass it on, or contact you via that Find Kieran.
Yeah, pass it on
Facebook
to the Milford, the Garda
Milford. Garda of course, in the first instance.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for going to a new phone. I appreciate it. Have a lovely day, as best as you can
thank you
with
very
everything
much,
that's
Greg.
going on. Okay. Take
Thank
care
you
of
very
yourself.
much. Thank
All right.
you.
Bye bye.
Okay.
Right, okay, that's Anthea there. Moving on now, and Letterkenny Rugby Club is its 50th year anniversary, established in 1973, and now it's 2023, unbelievably. We're joined by two guests in studio, Roy Robinson, who's the organiser of the 50th anniversary celebrations. Good morning to you, Roy. Thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, it's just Boyd.
Boyd, sorry.
You're okay, no
Is
problem.
B beside R on the keyboard? No explanation for that. All right, Boyd.
No problem.
Makes more sense, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I was just going to go with it. And the captain of the rugby club, Christopher
Digimus. Real easy one for you
thanks,
today,
lads.
yeah.
Christopher Digimus. Come here, reflections on Ireland out of the World Cup. Gutted?
Don't mention the war.
Well, we have to, don't we? I mean,
Yeah,
it was such a good game. A team had to lose.
Worthy of a final, like.
Yeah.
I was over in Paris, Greg, and I have to say, we were really had expectations were very high in Irish rugby at the weekend, and
We kind of got a wee bit English on it, though, didn't we?
I don't know
If you know what I mean.
We had every right to be at the same
Okay,
time. We had a fantastic team, but after the game on Saturday in Paris, it was like a Irish wake.
I know. But the tournament really came to light in that game. It was absolutely unbelievable, but on the wrong end of it. Anyway, moving forward, because we are looking forward now. Tell us a bit about the club, Christopher.
Well, I suppose
it's a rugby club.
It's a rugby club. Isn't it?
You're gonna have to work harder than that.
Rugby club.
We're trying to celebrate 50 years here. Is it a big club? How many members do you have? Where do your teams compete?
Well, I'll put it in this way. I was kind of doing up for the catering for Saturday. We have 100, around 100 minis, about 150 odd youths, and there's 3 senior teams, and there's about 100 girls as well. So it's just growing all the time.
That's huge. And after events like the World Cup, you're going to get more contact from people saying, "I want to be."
Even the Facebook page, people messaging, "I've never played rugby, but I'd like to try it out."
And there's different ways of playing for younger people, contact, non-contact, all that kind of stuff, isn't it? You have to sort of develop and bring people through.
Absolutely.
When did you start playing?
When was I? When I was about 13, so nearly 20 years. Could
At
be
it
my
now.
anniversary too. It could be my anniversary this weekend too.
But not quite 50 years. So, Boyd, how is marking the 50-year celebrations?
Yeah, so this weekend we're having just a day of rugby. Really, we're going to be starting off with our minis. We're going to be playing a blitz, and then straight after that we're going to have our 3 youth teams, our 18s, 16s, and 14s, all playing against Korean in league matches. And then our girls teams are playing after that. So we have our 14s, 16s, and 18s girls all playing matches. And then in the afternoon we have our 3 senior teams, the first, seconds, and thirds, all playing matches. Afterwards we'll be having a few speeches, and there'll be a bit of catering. And we also will have the Six Nations trophy and the Triple Crown will both be there all day for people to get
Fantastic. How
photographs
did you pull that one off?
Just a phone call from a few contacts and we got it sorted,
Excellent. So people have the opportunity to go along and get the picture taken with those trophies.
That's
as well.
right, yeah. So it's open to everybody. We'd like to see as many as possible down at the club, and if you want to get that opportunity to get the picture with the trophy, it'll be there.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, there's going to be a huge with all the people that are members of the club and people that are playing with. It's going to be a huge turnout. But it's an open invitation, especially with a bit of buzz about rugby at the moment. We're somewhat disappointed for an opportunity to go and see it live and see the trophies as well. I mean, so it's open to everyone, as you say.
Yeah, it's very, very much open. Letterkenny's always been an open club anyway.
Yeah,
and that's part of the celebrations that we we show everyone that everybody's welcome.
Christopher, you play at the Dave Gallagher Park. It's at the Glebe, the Thorn Road. How often do you do the seniors play? And if people wanted to go and watch, for an example.
Well, we've a good. Any upcoming games is usually well advertised on our Facebook page, but we're training Tuesday, Thursday at 7:30 to 9, and then matches they're always on a Saturday, we're sort of about 5 games into our league, so there's 10 teams in our league, and so we're halfway through the first.
How's that going? What's your kill death ratio, as they say in gaming terms?
We came first twice and second 3 times.
That's not too bad. It's early doors.
Yeah, but now, I suppose this is our first time being we're promoted into this league.
Yeah.
So it was never. I didn't think we were going to win. Well,
you're establishing yourself at this level, really, isn't it?
And then go for it.
Yeah. Okay. Is it a sport you'd recommend for younger people to get involved in? You started at 13.
Even from just developing their off skill, the referee respect in rugby is different to any
It's
other
unbelievable
sport,
to watch it, isn't it? It's so dignified.
You just see, I suppose I'm getting to the older cohort of the team, but you see young lads come in 18, and you think they're about a chip on their shoulder, but just a year or two, they're just
It's just it installs a discipline and a respect, doesn't it? It's just built into the game. And do you see it growing? Because there's pockets of where it's massive and areas then where it just doesn't have the same traction. Do you see the forward momentum of rugby growing even more so?
100%. It is you think of the population even that we have in a geographical sense. It's an untapped market.
And Boyd, sometimes I don't think. I mean, it's hugely supported, all right, and everyone watched and jumped on the bandwagon for the World Cup. But what we achieve as a nation, the size of our nation, in a arguably a global sport, it's remarkable that we produce this quality of player from the population that we have. The pool, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, and it hasn't happened by accident, Greg. The IRFU have gone out and they're picking players out. Even in our own club, there's now pathways for young people that weren't there before. They're bringing them into elite squads, so they're putting the arms out there, and they're picking players even out from our own club in Letterkenny, and they're bringing them into academies and stuff. And there's just a massive effort being put in at IRFU level and at Ulster branch level to promote the game and give every child the proper opportunity to make their way through. Before years ago, you had to go to a public school to really have a chance.
Yeah.
And that's changed completely now.
Much more inclusive, isn't it?
Much more inclusive,
for sure. And it's great because we use that phrase again. If you can see, you can be it. But now there's pathways, and if you have the ambition and the skill and the drive, you're going to be supported, aren't you? So the event started with mini rugby at 9 on Saturday, run through to 2:30. Then the club itself is celebrating, obviously, that evening.
Yeah, so that evening there'll be speeches and there'll be food, and then we've got the World Cup semi-final on as well, so we're expecting a big crowd for that.
Brilliant. And where's that? That's obviously for club members, presumably, at that point.
That's for everyone.
Is it still into the evening?
It's still into the evening.
You talked about catering, Christopher. I wouldn't like to be picking up the tab.
Well, we have 2 people, a family. I'm going to give them a plug here, Joe and Maria Gibson.
Yeah.
And they do the food every weekend, week out.
Wow.
And they're absolutely exceptional. No, it doesn't phase. I started adding up, you might need 500 hot dogs. Oh, no bother, we'll get 600 just in case, she said.
That's what you want, isn't it? You take that headache out of it. Fair play to them. All right, so where's there more information on when stuff is on? We've mentioned it a couple of times now, but Boyd, I suppose you can go to Letterkenny Rugby Club Facebook page, can you?
The Letterkenny Rugby Club Facebook has all the information.
And it's nice that it's tied into the semi as well, the semi-final as well. It fits in lovely, doesn't it? I know, but sure, look, we are where we are. Yeah. All right, well, congratulations on to another 50 years. Do you see Christopher, do you see a positive progression? In other words, 50 years in the bag, onwards and upwards?
I think even the last 10 years has been exceptional. And the more Ireland do well as well, it'll all drip down.
Of course it does.
But even since COVID, where we've, like, I think we got that break for COVID, and then there was a bit of a hunger after it. And
Yeah.
before COVID, we were struggling maybe with one senior team, whereas now we're able to push. Well, this will be our first time pushing out 3. Like,
fantastic, isn't it? It's amazing, and that's obviously requires work, because there are other things that after that break didn't really come back at all.
Yeah.
So you tapped into that desire and appetite. Anything you want to add, Boyd, before we wrap up?
No, just hope we see as many as possible down there, and just a shout out to anybody that's played the game. I played myself for 22 years, and I don't think there's a hall in Letterkenny would fill every player that I've played with. So just a shout out to all the guys that I've played with over the years and over the 50 years that I've been involved.
Brilliant opportunity to catch up and share memories.
And any sponsors too, like we've people buy advertising hoardings and stuff like that.
Aye, that's
any of them people.
Exactly.
Sure,
Call in. Everyone's welcome. It's going to be a great day's celebration. 50 years is a fabulous milestone. You're all invited to come and join a full day of celebrations, live music and entertainment throughout the day as well too. It's a full family day as well, and then celebrations continuing long into the night. So get along to the Dave Gallagher Park, the Glebe, Thorn Road. Early start from 9 a.m. Good if people get out and support the mini rugby teams as well, obviously. Yeah, so they have a bit of cheering on the sidelines. All right, listen, brilliant. Have a fantastic Saturday. And we'll chat to you about 8 a.m. Sunday morning.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much indeed, Christopher and Boyd. Back with live music after these.
Watch the show live now on YouTube, Facebook, and at highlandradio.com. Donegal Denture Clinic, Letterkenny. Denture problems? We can help. At Donegal Denture Clinic, we customise, personalise, and tailor your dentures to suit you. Call us for a free consultation on 91 25 25 3. Find us at Ballyrain, Letterkenny, beside Rossin College. Medical cards welcome. For all your denture needs, call Donegal Denture Clinic on 91 25 25 3. Online at donegaldentureclinic.ie.
An bhfuil tú réil haid dríoch speisialta. An bhfuil tú réid an ghiomhrim lá clia. Íhan den níos fuide mína sauna. Nuair a bhíon na sáiltí ag lonraí go geall. Lán go béal a spirit na féile I mína nolag. Agus ceol bio nóir chearta chalach agus imachtaí den sco I mí anar. Sin 3V omlán a daontais an Gheavra Road. Cur do phleanad le céile níis ag visitdublin.com. Winter in Dublin, tá dríoch down. Ochar fáil ag fáilte Ireland.
Creative Landscaping Works are the Donegal distributors of millboard cladding and decking. Thanks to its unique polymer resin construction, this decking and cladding doesn't deteriorate like natural wood and won't be beaten for durability. It also has superb slip resistance, even when wet, and every board is produced using recycled materials. Live life outside with millboard at Creative Landscaping Works, Lisnen and Letterkenny. See creativelandscapingworks.com.
Hello, Buncrana. Carrickdon is coming to town. New megastore opening Friday at 11 a.m. VIP guests, discounts, giveaways and more. Join the opening party at Carrickdon this weekend. More info at carrickdon.com.
Why leave all the magic moments or great scenes you've captured on your phone sitting there or in the cloud when you can have them printed at McGee's Chemist? Using the McGee's app or one of the in-store kiosks, you can upload your photos from your phone, Google Photos, Facebook or Instagram and have them printed instantly within an hour or in by 10 and ready by 5. See mcgees.ie for more details. Hold your memories in your hand with McGee's Chemist, Letterkenny.
Tá séisiúr an lúling, agus cé gur féidir le duine bit an flua á, déadach sé a bheith ina hinnas trom chúiseach de leanaí. Scapan vírus an lú go héasca ó gine go duine. Sin é an fá gur féidir le leanaí idir 2 agus 2 vaccine flu a oil séir an asca inis. Tugtar trí spray sróine agus cuireann sé cosant thóáilta agus éfachtach ón bhlúar fáil, mar sin ná bhíoh éon bhfuil ort. Cur cuinis ar an asca in áire le de gugtar tailig nó le de chogaseoir agus cosant de chailig ón bhlú. Tuile ólis ar hsc.ie.
The Donegal Silage Competition with Homeland and Nutrius Animal Feeds is back for 2023 and entries are now open. Entry is free and includes 5 categories: dairy, beef, sheep, round bale and new entrant. First prize is a €300 voucher and second prize a €200 voucher in each category. For full entry details visit homeland.ie.
Tesco Club Card gives you the power to lower prices, so no scares this Halloween. Like the Tesco Pumpkins range from €1.99. Selected Haribo and Swizzles packs were €7, now €5. Plus selected Cadbury treat size sharing bags were €3.55, now €2. Lower the cost of your shop with your Tesco Club Card or app. The power to lower prices. Tesco. Every little helps. Products subject to availability. Prices may vary in express stores.
Easy Living Furniture's Oktoberfest sale ends this Sunday. Absolutely everything reduced with up to 60% off sofas, dining, bedroom and mattresses that are in stock and ready for delivery. With 0% interest-free finance available for up to 2 years and with no deposit, the decision is easy. Oktoberfest sale ends Sunday at Easy Living Furniture, Terryland, Galway, Sligo Retail Park, Sligo and Breaffy Road, Castlebar.
More and more people are moving to rural Ireland, but we're not here in Donegal for a slower pace of life.
We're here because rural Ireland is alive.
Brimming with ideas and energy.
The only thing holding us back is slow broadband. It's cat. Pure glacial.
So why wait? Imagine broadband speed gives us the freedom to connect without compromises.
Imagine Broadband is connecting homes and businesses in your community right now. For better service and faster broadband faster, switch to imagine.ie. Imagine. Faster broadband faster.
Subject to location and availability.
Join Connolly's MG Sligo for the 2024 Donegal Motor Show, Canal Road, Letterkenny, from the 17th to the 21st of October. Test drive the 241 MG range and find your perfect MG driving experience with the MG4 EV or the MG HS plug-in hybrid. Drive into 2024 with your brand new MG from Connolly Motor Group. For more information, visit connellys.ie.
Highland Radio weather updates with Ireland West Airport, where you can now fly daily to London Heathrow with Aer Lingus and connect via Heathrow to over 80 destinations worldwide, including Boston, New York and more.
All right, mostly cloudy today with outbreaks of rain moving in and turning heavy and persistent in the afternoon and evening with a chance of flooding. Highest temperatures of 12 to 14 degrees in fresh and gusty east to southeast winds. Now we have some live guests in studio with us and we're going to hear some live music from them. They are the Notions. Mason, good morning to you. Mason Gillen, guitar and vocals. Thanks for calling in.
Right.
It's good to have you on the show. Also, Finlay Thompson's with us on bass guitar. Hi.
How are you getting on, Greg?
Good to have you on. Mark Lowry Connolly's on the drums, literally on the drums. He's sitting on the drums. Good morning, Mark. How are you getting on?
I'm getting good. Yourself?
Good to have you with us. All right. Now, the Notions, not unfamiliar to Highland Radio listeners. We don't have Bobby with us. He's doing something else. So we're going.
Air traffic control.
Air traffic control, is that it? All right. So we're a 4-piece down to a 3-piece. And we're talking about a night of music in the Cottage Bar this coming Saturday night at 8 p.m. It's a cracking venue. I'll start with you, Mark. Talk to us about what you're doing Saturday night.
Well, we are playing a gig. We have Kieran starting for us, and then along comes the E-Fades, and then towards the end of the night we come on and we steal the show.
Yeah, so the E-Fades and the other band will have something to say about that.
Oh, well, they'll have to show it.
I have to be careful, you see, because I bump into mums and dads.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? So I have to play it level.
No, they're a great band, to be fair.
You're all good. And this is something new, is it, Finlay? That, you know, a night of music, 3 local bands.
Well, basically, I suppose since after we're a young band ourselves, but, you know, we had COVID for 2 years and that, and we weren't playing and there was no live music anywhere, and we're just kind of trying to highlight the importance of live music, and that, especially for us. Like, we started in the cottage at the open mic night, and that's Mouthpiece, so we're always very grateful for that. And so I suppose we're just highlighting the importance of these events for young musicians, getting a start and get going. And I suppose what no better way than a collab between the E-Fades and that, one of the best local young bands in Letterkenny, and then ourselves and Kieran as well, like, you know.
And at Mason, there's nothing beats performing live either, is it? I mean, you can do all the practice, the rehearsing, the writing, the recording, whatever way you want to do, but you can't beat being out there in front of a live, appreciative audience.
Nah, it's class. You get a good rush from playing live, like.
Yeah.
And now we've written a few originals, and some people have started to learn the lyrics, and we get to hear them being shouted back to us. And there's no better feeling, like.
And things are going well for you, aren't they? I mean, you supported The Lost. You have performed to at Party in the Park. I mean, you know, things are moving in the right direction.
Yeah, we're flat out, you know, when we're
keep going forward.
Mary from Dunlow as well. You were out of that too.
Yeah,
weren't
that was
you?
a kind of highlight of the
That was
summer.
big
And
here,
that,
yeah. It's one of our better gigs. Yeah.
I would say one of the best ones of the summer, and like, you know, as I say, we've kind of started out in that, and we're just hopefully on the up anyway.
But you see, the thing is though, Mark, when you get a taste of it, you know you want more, don't you?
Oh yeah, no,
because it drives you on, doesn't it?
We started off with the open mic night, as Finlay said, and then every now and then we go back to it, because like it is our home, which is why we're so happy to be playing in college on Saturday. And then we've done gigs throughout the summer, Mary from Dunlow, and then we've done a few of our own like gigs, which we've labelled sheds, but like that was just kind of more our own thing. But the gigs that we do, you really just you get the hype from it, and you get like an adrenaline rush.
Yeah, and I not called it out, but mentioned it on the show before when speaking to some other young bands about getting the opportunity. You know, there's lots of stage time at big events, and I use headlined, but I'm on about there's lots of stage time at big events where there's just music coming out of speakers. Yeah. You know, that young bands would love the opportunity to get up on stage and perform and build from that. And fair play to the crew from Mary from Dunlow, they have spotlighted loads of great talents and give you guys the spotlight that you deserve as well, and hopefully we see more of that bands like yous and others and up and comers are backed. Right, so Mason, you talk about doing a bit of writing now as well, getting a catalogue together. I suppose that's what's expected when you're doing a gig. You know, you need, you know, I mean, there's going to be covers in there, your own version of stuff, but you need your own stuff there too.
Yeah, I actually think that our originals sound better than the covers, because we can kind of do our own thing with them. We own them, exactly. So I would kind of start off writing up the house, show the band, put it together, and sometimes it would only take like 5 minutes and we just work straight away.
Brilliant. That's it. Well, that's a good sign of how you collaborate with each other.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
We get along great, to be fair.
All right, well, let's hear something. We're going to hear two, because I left enough time to make sure we do, and to get you all back to wherever you need to go afterwards. And we'll talk more about the band and the event that's upcoming. So, Mason, do you want to introduce the first track?
Yeah, this one's called Undeniable. It's a bit of a fast-paced one.
That's right. This is one of your own, is it?
One of our own, yeah.
Okay, and when did you start performing this, or when was this finished?
I think we first performed this one at Party in the Park back in July.
Excellent, okay.
Yeah.
All right, whenever you're ready, The Notions.
Right.
1, 2.
By your name
All right, that was the Notions. Finlay, it's hard to phrase this without. I mean, you get great support from local venues and what have you, right? But do you think there's a scene that needs to be established? If you get where I'm coming from?
No, I definitely. I mean, like there is the music scene there at Kenny, but an expansion of that. Like you can't underestimate open mic nights between the Cottage and that, and the Cottage are great for supporting things like Mouthpiece and letting local musicians have an opportunity to play in that. On the other end of that, down my kind of country, down Dunlow, you have Club BO and that, run by Moya Brennan, which is another great open mic night. And even 5 minutes, 1 or 2 songs, takes young musicians, gives them the confidence, and they need that because you can't just start off with big 2-hour sets. It's too much. So there's an importance for a bit of a scene to be established, especially after COVID. That was knocked down a huge amount, I suppose, and pubs were, hard for them to reopen and that, and, if things are slow starting. But I'm hopeful that, things are on up,
Yeah, exactly. And pubs sometimes now have to decide whether they pay for a band or TNT and Sky Sports. It's a tough old business for them to be trading in. And Mark, we need a constant stream of young talent as well, don't we? Arguably this generation you need, and there's ones ahead of you and you need ones coming behind you as well, and I suppose nights like this encourage that.
Yeah, it's a great chance for young artists. Like I know for myself, whenever I was in first year, we started off, I watched Sheerbuzz. They were my inspiration for the band anyway, and we had more and more artists, and then there's ones coming behind us, Airbears. There's a bunch of young talent out there that can come through
and
this.
The thing is too, the way it is, it's kind of is great in a way, because say from a media perspective, you have the guys on Monday night sessions that'll get behind you if you get yourself together and you're good enough, and there are venues that will give you a chance at the open nights as well. So like it can be done. There's people get together and they put their mind to it. There are ways of getting your stuff out there, and of course then you can use the likes of Instagram. It's the Notions.
It's the Notions with a Z.
But even the Mark said about it.
Anytime you have to explain it, you've given it the wrong name. No money message. And on Facebook, it's the Notions as well. Yeah. So it's the Notions on Instagram and the Notions on Facebook. Okay, and then you can reach a broader audience through that. Mason, do you want to introduce the song we're going to play out with?
This one's called Fallen Angel. It's one of our more popular one among our people that come to our gigs. They seem to love the chorus, sing along.
So this is the one that when they're on the way for a wee, they turn back and come back.
Exactly. They're always waiting for it to chant for this one. Yep.
All right. Okay. The Notions. Take it away again, guys.
I've been trying to find a way to go through. I'm trying to get on a plane and fly to you. My head's all over the place. What am I gonna do? Feel like I'm lost in space, and I'm falling, falling, falling. I'm falling like an angel, and I'm so cold. Looking down the devil's pistol, and I was so heaven ain't a place to be. Oh. Feeling like somewhere I've fallen hell. I'm up in the sky,
I don't know why my head's all over the place. What am I gonna do? Feel like you lost in space, and I'm falling, falling, falling again. I know I'm falling like an angel, and I'm so cold. Looking down the damn pistol, and I wish so. Every ain't the place. Oh. I've been trying to find a way out of this place, and I can't describe the sensation that I'm feeling. Oh, I'm falling like an angel, and I'm so cold. Looking down the devil's pistol, and I wish so. Every ain't the place. Oh.
Well done, lads. That's brilliant. I can see why that's a popular one. It's excellent. Right, who's going to remind us of the gig on Saturday night then?
Well, I suppose we'll just say it.
We'll say it's basically 8 p.m. Saturday on the Cottage.
Good man, Finley.
Free entry.
You took one for the team there. I'm really disappointed in
Free
Martin
entry,
Mason
lads.
there.
Hey, it's going to cost you nothing
Did
to
you
come.
just say free entry, lads? Hey.
That's hilarious.
It's a catchphrase. That's a catchphrase.
English teacher wouldn't be too happy with that. We're currently missing school, actually. We're all leaving here as well.
I know.
Really like it. Cosh for letting us out. Definitely say thank you to your school for letting you out.
Rosie's your... Well, Mark.
Yeah, she is. I am
chatting to Rosie last night. Getting you out of school. We have to get you back on time as well.
Yeah.
Are you in school still, Mason, or what's the story?
Paul Shally, same school as Mark.
Right, okay, brilliant. You're all in 6th then?
6th year, yeah.
Right, brilliant. How's it going?
Well,
it's going, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's not long now. It seems
it's not
like a
going
short
good,
year.
but it's going.
I get you. All right, listen. Anyway, it's been brilliant having you on. Have a fantastic night Saturday night. There's 3 cracking bands. It's live. It's free high. And it's 8 p.m. This Saturday at the Cottage Bar, Letterkenny, Main Street. And that's just a sample. And these guys come in and do that acoustically as well. So you can imagine what you're going to get on the night. Plenty of noise from the Notions. Continued success. I hope you have a brilliant winter, and particularly heading into the summer. We'd have to focus exams and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, that's a young person's problem. Enjoy it, because you don't have those problems when you get older. All right, that's just a little bit of life advice for you. Look, he's keen, isn't he? He's got the coat on. He's putting the coat on. We haven't even said goodbye. All right, lads. And Bobby wasn't with us, but he'll be there Saturday night, I presume. So Mason, Finley, Mark Larry Connolly. Thanks, all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.
We'll be back with more after the news. We'll be back with the news after the break.
Vision Zero means no road deaths or serious injuries on Irish roads by 2050. The development of an inclusive trauma system will mean that people will get the right care in the right place at the right time, increasing chances of surviving. And the National Speed Limit Review has recommended the lowering of speed limits in some areas to ensure safer roads for everyone. These are just some of the ways Ireland can achieve Vision Zero. No road deaths or serious injuries by 2050. Find out more at rsa.ie from the Road Safety Authority.
Every Volvo made goes through a rigorous quality check process before it leaves the factory. Every pre-owned Volvo available through our Volvo Select program goes through that same process again, with all the quality, power and guarantee you expect from Volvo. Own a pre-owned all-electric Volvo C40 or XC40 Recharge with a minimum 12-month unlimited mileage warranty and Volvo assistance as standard. Get used cars recharged at McGinley Motors. Search Volvo Select or visit volvocast.ie. Terms and conditions apply.
Hello, Buncrana. Carrickdon is coming to town. New mega store opening Friday at 11 a.m. VIP guests, discounts, giveaways and more. Join the opening party at Carrickdon this weekend. More info at carrickdon.com.
Thula tú faoi chuirsaí scillan a glasa ó Skills to Advance. Séir tá ann ná micro cholaíochtaí le forbad a dhéanamh ar na scillanna atá riachtanach do ostóirí agus fostathe chun dulí le ceistena faoi timpeachta inmhúnathe san anad ibre. Tá ardiontaí flathúla ar fáil ó ifigí á túla den Bord Dachas agus a Luna. Ná déon bhíl, take go skillstoadvance.ie. Scillanna le haig dul chun cín. Neartig scillanna, neartig gnó. Jackdracht ó Solas agus ETBs, Janscan of O'Reiltas na Héireann.
Are you a male aged 40 plus? Are you looking after your health? Letterkenny Medics are now offering a full medical check that includes blood pressure, BMI, cardio, respiratory, prostate and testicular checks, blood tests that will check your sugar levels, cholesterol, lipid and bone profiles, with a full aftercare provided including prescriptions or referrals if required. Your health is your wealth. Book an appointment today at letterkennymedics.ie or call 07492 02955. Letterkenny Medics. We listen if you want to talk.
Every year, about 2,600 people in Ireland get bowel cancer. Bowel screening helps to reduce your risk of developing it. The age range for bowel screen is changing. If you're aged 59 to 69, register for a free bowel screen test kit. Once you've done the test at home, return it by free post and we'll test your sample. If you need follow-up tests, we'll let you know. Register today at bowelscreen.ie or free phone 1800 45 45 55 from the HSC.
With all the stories that matter across the Northwest, it's Greg Hughes on the 9 to Noon Show on Highland Radio.
And it is 11 o'clock. Let's get a news update now, and it's good morning to Donald Kavanagh.
Thank you, Greg. Good morning. A cross-border appeal has been issued in relation to a 14-year-old boy who's been missing from Inishowen for 7 weeks. Gardaí are renewing their appeal and seeking people's assistance in tracing Stephen Boyle. He's been missing from Burnfoot since the 22nd of August. At the request of Gardaí, the PSNI have also issued an appeal this morning. A record number of junior cycle students are collecting their results today. 71,494 students sat the exam this year, 2,571 of them in Donegal. They're being collected in schools across the country this morning. They'll be available online from 4 this afternoon. The Junior Disabilities Minister has acknowledged there is a pinch point with regards to recruitment in Children's Disability Network teams in Donegal, and that requires a specific response. And Rabbit acknowledged that at present 56% of positions in the service remain unfilled. 2 leading rural bodies have announced a new collaboration which they say will offer opportunity for cross-border learning and development. Rural Action in the North and Irish Rural Link in the Republic have come together under the Synergy Rural Collaboration Project, which is being supported by the government's Shared Island initiative. Rural TDs are calling on the government to urgently address what they say are alarmingly long waiting times for driving tests in various parts of the country. They say delays of up to 51 weeks in some areas are causing significant distress for thousands of learners. They're urging the government to allow learners who've completed the mandatory 12 lessons to drive unaccompanied. It can take over 7 months to get a test in Buncrana and Donegal town and over 4 months in Letterkenny. And US President Joe Biden is in Tel Aviv for talks with the Israeli Prime Minister as part of a diplomatic mission to ensure the conflict in the Middle East doesn't grow. Joe Biden's visit comes just hours after an explosion at a hospital in Gaza, which Palestinian officials say has killed at least 500 people. Israel's military held a news conference earlier to show evidence that they claim proves they didn't cause the blast, but a Palestinian group did. Islamic Jihad have strongly denied that one of their misfired rockets was responsible. Hamas agrees with them, insisting it was the Israelis. And we're back with news headlines again at 12 noon.
Thank you very much, Donal.
My perfect escape would be...
a city break. Somewhere with loads to do.
nothing. Just relax and go.
Out. Dinner and drinks in the hotel before heading
To bed. Nice and early for an amazing night's sleep.
At Maldron Hotels, we provide you with everything you need to escape your way across Ireland and the UK. Save on every room, every night when you book direct with Click on Maldron at maldronhotels.com.
You're very welcome back to the programme, and we're joined on it now by Councillor Rena Donaghy. Good morning, Rena. Thanks so much for your time today.
Good morning, Greg.
We're talking about serious concerns you have following an incident at the Mill Bridge in Buncrana. It's a shocking one, this. Rena, what happened that has sort of exacerbated these concerns?
Yeah, a couple spoke to me about an incident recently whereby they were crossing the Mill Bridge with a grandchild on the buggy. They were on the footpath. And while they were crossing, a car made contact with the buggy. This bridge, there was a design done for it, a new design done away back about 15 years. I asked for a new bridge. I asked for the bridge to be replaced at that stage. And it's really, the bridge is very close to the Ontario office, the Garda station, Lidl and Aldi, so it's a very, very busy part of town. And the bridge is absolutely inadequate for the traffic that's coming through it. Now, locals are aware of the bridge and take care, but visitors wouldn't be as familiar with it and would be going faster. So something needs to be done fairly soon on the bridge. The design that was done before needs to be re-looked at and implemented. A new bridge. Ideally, we need a new bridge. But the footpath, which is necessary on the bridge, needs to be, that's taken up 3 foot or whatever of the roadway there. So 2 cars can't really pass. As I say, the locals know when they'll wait for the other to pass. But no, it is dangerous. It absolutely is dangerous. And there we have this incident now of where a car actually touched a buggy going past, and the couple came to me about it.
Yeah, scary reminder of how bad it is. So what do you think could be done sort of in the short term?
Well, it may be possible to take the footpath away and put it on, it's a walled bridge, there's a wall on each side of it. So it may be possible to put a footpath on the other side of one of the walls, or ideally a new bridge. For the size of Buncrana is the second biggest town in the county.
Yeah,
a lot of through traffic going into Buncrana and further afield to north and Ishone. And to be able to cater for the need, really and truly, we would need that bridge to be replaced. That would be the ideal
And
solution.
is that sort of something that would require central government funding, or is that in the gift of the council, Rena, or what would progress those more long-term plans?
Yeah, it would. In the long term, it would take quite a bit of money to replace the bridge. But if we had a temporary measure, a safe temporary measure, where the footpath could be on the other side, either side, that it would give 3 more foot for traffic there. It would be much safer.
Yeah, and the infrastructure has to match the ambition of the town, doesn't it? We know there's a major significant investment. As you mentioned, it's the county's second largest town. It's something has to be done. As I say, the infrastructure has to match the town's ambitions.
Yeah, absolutely. Buncrana is a very, very busy town. There's a lot of traffic in Buncrana, and that's great. That's fantastic. But anybody will tell you, there's locals living close to the bridge that have mentioned this to me as well, that the bridge is totally inadequate. It is totally inadequate, and now, in fairness, the engineer did say yes, that they will get a traffic management team to look at it very soon. So at least that's going in the right direction.
Okay, but listen, we when we get these little warnings, these near misses, we have to heed them, don't we?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, something more serious could have happened there. There was potential for a different scenario, and thank God it wasn't. And the couple that had the buggy were very much in charge of the buggy, But it did happen. The car made contact with the buggy, and that's serious.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Listen, thanks for that. Hopefully the calls are heated. Appreciate it. Have a lovely day, Rena. Thank you. That's Councillor Rena Donaghy there. Do you use the Mill Bridge in Buncrana? I was just looking, as I was listening intently to Rena there, I was just looking at it on Google Maps there, and you can see where the concerns lie, where the danger comes from. 086 60 25,000 if, as I say, you use that route and have concerns or otherwise. A lot of talk about traffic today. As you can imagine. So let's get through some of your comments. Ballybofey is like this every morning, not a word about it. The town is being totally run down. We talk about the situation in Ballybofey, Stranorlar really quite regularly. Maybe you don't listen in at those times, but I do understand exactly where you're coming from. Anyone who sort of maybe has to travel from or through Letterkenny on to Donegal town, for an example, would know exactly what we're talking about. We're stopped at the Tower Court at 8:37, through the Polestar by 9, which sounds good, is it? Greg, we need a ring road 20 years ago. Now we need something like the M50. That shambles of a road out to the Dry Arch should have been a dedicated emergency lane from day one, but as usual, Irish planning, it'll be grand, messed up again, they say. After seeing those images from Gaza, we really shouldn't be giving out about traffic lights. Those poor children, the world has gone mad, and I know that. And you could have said... It's a difficult one, because you could say, you know, should we even be talking about the condition of Letterkenny University Hospital after we've seen what happened to a hospital in Gaza? And it's a difficult one, and as humans, it's hard to navigate. But at the same time, too, it's to a person at the moment who's going through a very difficult time or is struggling or is caught up in that traffic, it can be very important to them as well. But listen, I understand what you're saying, but we do also still have to make sure to keep an eye on local issues as well. It doesn't mean that we can't have great sympathy and shock with what's going on elsewhere. Lights ridiculous. Took me an hour and 10 minutes to get from Watson's in Ballybofey yesterday evening at 5 p.m. Greg, could you please ask your listeners using back roads now to avoid lights? Please slow down and think of other road users. It is an accident waiting to happen, and that's it. And people might not be used to those roads and... might drive excessively. Hi, Greg, at excessive speed. Hi, Greg, traffic lights working okay. I have no problems. Give them time to settle in. Can you please tell drivers that left lane approaching from Clanrees, left turn only, not for going straight to town? That comes in from Kevin. Kevin, I'm not sure you're correct on that one. I'm not sure. I think the left lane is also for going straight. I'll double check that anyway. Right, okay, today is World Menopause Day, and on Wellness Wednesday, we talked to Senator Pauline O'Reilly of the Green Party, who's bringing forth a motion calling on the government to support women going through the menopause by making hormone replacement therapy free for all women who need it. Pauline, good morning to you. Pauline O'Reilly, thank you so much for your time today.
Good morning.
I suppose we are, whilst, you know, there's still some very important issues to talk about and advances that need to be made, I think at least we're having a more nuanced conversation about this now, and maybe bringing it out of the, well, you don't talk about that, or that's just a woman's problem, or you just grin and bear it. Do you know what I mean? That it is something that's far more acceptable to talk about now.
Absolutely. I think the last couple of years have seen a huge shift. And, you know, I remember getting up 2 years ago to speak in the Shannon about menopause. And I think I was possibly the first person who had mentioned the word. But that was off the back of so many women's stories, and not just women, you know, men as well, because I think it impacts everybody in society when we're not dealing with issues. And so a lot of people had been going to their GPs. Either they felt that they didn't know what symptoms they were going through, they didn't know how to identify it, but also that they weren't getting huge support. So, I mean, a lot has happened since then. We've had surveys, we've had what's called radical listening, to listen to women's voices. And what's come out of that is that 86% of women are saying that it has a big impact on their lives. So, you know, beyond that, beyond listening, and we also, the minister, to be fair to him, has put in place guidelines for all medical practitioners on what to look out for. And beyond all of that, we also now need to move towards real proper support.
No, but just acknowledging things, is there?
No, exactly.
Yeah.
So I guess that's where we're coming from in the Green Party. We had put into the programme for government free contraception. That's moving forward year on year. But there's a time in our life as well we have to recognise that we need more support. And I think, once upon a time, we didn't live as long as human beings. But now, when you hit the menopause, you've still got nearly half your life left ahead of you. And if we don't get it right around that time, it can leave a legacy of osteoporosis, of diabetes, of, deep depression in many instances.
And Pauline, this is another one of those situations, and so often we hear it in health, that actually earlier intervention and heeding the measures that we're going to talk about from you now would not only save, which is most important, people's hardship and ill health or whatever into the future, it obviously saves the state money, because then people aren't as reliant on the health service for the reasons you've just outlined. So we spend a little now, and not only the most important thing, do people have better lives, but then obviously the byproduct is then that effectively the state is saved money. But primarily, of course, this is about people's quality of life. And you talked there, before we get into your calls, you talked there about the majority of women, it has an impact on them. That's in the home, that's in their general life, that's in the workplace as well too, which probably is something that isn't talked about, that's something that has to be endured. That, can women go to a manager and expect, if so, there is an issue with them on that particular day or week, for it to be accommodated for that reason? I'm not sure we're there yet.
No, and most people would say that they don't feel able to go to their manager, to somebody in their workplace. And yet we're finding that I think it's nearly 45% of women feel that they have to take time out of work for not just the menopause, but for menstrual health in general. And so yes, it has that kind of a cost on your career, on your, I suppose, your self-esteem, and also a cost then economically. But you're quite right to the previous point that you made. It is about spending a little now, and I think that's where Ireland has gone wrong a lot in terms of healthcare. It is about prevention. Obviously, you can't prevent the menopause. We all know that, but you can prevent all of the things that go along with that, and that's impacts to your bone health. If you don't have that treatment early, and particularly those who go through the menopause early, say in their late 30s or 40s, which does happen, then if you don't have that treatment at that stage, you've got this really long, decades-long period of your life where you're more susceptible to breakages in your bones. And think then of the knock-on impact that has in terms of hospital beds, in terms of waiting lists. So it's what we've factored in is we're already spending as a state about 6 million on HRT, because you can get it through the medical card. But it would only cost maybe another 4 million to roll it out to everyone, and then you'd have GP visits on top of that. So you're still only talking about between 10 and 20 million. It's really sounds like a lot to an individual person, but it's not that much.
In the terms of the health budget, it is
billions,
pittance. Exactly, it is pittance. And then, of course, the strong argument is that look at what it'll save into the future. I'm really shocked that the figure is so low, and yet we're still making the call for it. For some people, your information is that standard prescriptions can cost anywhere between 30 and 70 euro per month. In this day and age, that is beyond an awful lot of people that are just getting by, that don't have the reserves for a big problem. And I know myself from women in my life, often they will cut themselves first and not even announce it, so maybe everyone doesn't know, but they will say, right, that's actually an expense that we can save because this money can go elsewhere. We should never have a situation where this type of healthcare, people are making those type of calls, Senator.
No, and that's what the research would back up, exactly what your experience is, Greg, that women do scrimp on their own healthcare in order to make, more money available for the family overall. And that's just not... it shouldn't, the burden of making those decisions shouldn't be on the individual woman, because it's very, very difficult in the moment when you've got children and you're thinking about your own health. So I think that's why the state really needs to step up. And you know, like as I said, there's the cost element. It's not that much. But the other point again is, quite apart from the health service, it does have a deep impact on relationships. Many people report marital breakdown during that period, and so it really has much broader impact on society, and maybe an impact that wouldn't have happened many decades ago because we weren't living as long. You know, so
now, I mean,
this is modern life now.
Yeah, and you're making this call as a member of the Green Party, and the elephant in the room, Senator, is that your party actually currently is in government. So I presume you have access to Minister Eamon Ryan. So why are we still making this call? Why is this not provided for? Or what assurances have you got from your party leader and his and his fellow government leaders to put this to bed for now, once and for all?
Yeah, well, look, I mean, the Green Party are the people responsible for the free contraception that's being rolled out.
I get that, yeah, which is great.
So what I would say, though, is we put that into the programme for government. I still had to bring a motion to the Seanad in order to push it forward because of the delays. And so, you know, I mean, politics is made up of many steps. The Minister Stephen Donnelly did contact me this morning to thank me for pushing it. So again, he's not my party colleague, but I think it is supportive even of the minister who's trying to get, you know, budgets for what he would like. And to be fair to him, again, he's not my party colleague. To be fair to him, I think he has been good on women's health, and we do have menopause clinics now in place. So I'm hopeful that we will get this done in the lifetime of this government. As you say, it's a small amount of money, but you need to apply that political pressure, apply that public pressure in order to release money for things that make perfect sense to you and I. And I'm not the Minister for Health.
No,
so
I get that. But you talk about politics having many steps, politics have many men too. And I just can't help but wonder if at least two of those government partners were women, if we'd be having this conversation about this really important healthcare for an awful lot of women with a bill of 20 odd million. I can't imagine we would, and that's unprovable, and it's whataboutery, and I get that, but it's ridiculous really for all the women listening that are affected by this, that they're.
Look, I'll say that I have 100% my party's support, including the party leader, and on any of these issues around women's health in particular. Now, the Seanad actually is unusual. If you look at our council chambers, particularly across the west of Ireland and the northwest, you look at it, how many women are there? Very, very few. We've less than a quarter of TDs are women. And what we have in the Seanad is 40% of us are women. So I've actually seen quite a lot of progress through the Seanad, and we have to use whatever's available to us. This is what's available to me. This is what I'm going to use. And I've also worked cross-party in collaboration on other things around violence against women, and we have had successes in that. So I'm hopeful that we will get success. And that people get behind it because, for too long, women have been let down in this state.
And that's why we invited you on to support you in your efforts. Thank you very much for your time today, Pauline.
Thank you, Greg.
Take care. Sorry, that is Senator Pauline O'Reilly there.
The county's #1 talk show, the 9 till noon show on Highland Radio.
Mr. Blue Sky, please tell us why.
The Lotto jackpot is an estimated €2.5 million. Play responsibly in store, in app, or at lottery.ie. The National Lottery. It could be you.
Attention graduates, it's time to celebrate your incredible achievements at the tastiest place in town, Backstage Bar and Grill. Whether you are celebrating with a small group or hosting a grand party, Backstage Bar and Grill has the perfect space for you. Call now on 07491 21976 to make a reservation.
Tickets! Get your tickets! Arsenal, Chelsea, Leeds, Liverpool, Manchester United, Spurs and more. Home games and all the goals scored. Don't be shy, it only takes a minute to win it.
It's Cadbury FC's biggest football ticket giveaway ever, plus thousands of other prizes to be won every game week. Just head to matchtheminute.cadburyfc.com to get your match minute. If a goal's scored in that minute, you win. Enter today. T's and C's apply.
Show the Monday Blues the door.
kick them into touch, banish them for good. With a wee treat at Kelly's Diner in Letterkenny. Maybe a coffee and scone, or an all-day breakfast, or a burger and chip. With American-style booth seating, fast and friendly service, a menu packed with tasty choices at great value, and loads of parking, it's a great stop-off any day of the week. Take back your Mondays at Kelly's Diner, Mountaintop, Letterkenny.
An bheran, bhíonn rud ag an difriúil le déanamh i gcónaí. Is féidir le cuadrochar a bheith an gara is fearr atá agat. Ach mar a bhfuil tú cosanta agus ilte i gceart, is féidir leis a bheith an náid is measa atá agat. Bhuiinn dearad tragóideach leis an umarca achtarí cuadrochar Ermacha. Ón féú lá samhain, beidh sé éigentach dúsadóirí cuadrochar clogad a chahabh agus iliún trí a áil. Tá tuile eolais le fáil hsa.ie/farm safety. Tionscnamh de chuid rialtais na hÉireann.
Local Enterprise Office Donegal invites you to come along to its Meet the Makers Craft Showcase in Lough Hess Castle on Friday the 20th of October from 5:30. Come and celebrate our local craft businesses, explore a wide range of unique gifts and meet over 40 talented makers behind Donegal's finest crafts. Register via localenterprise.ie/Donegal or email info@leo.donegalcoco.ie for more information.
Highland Radio time checks with Expressway. Travel Route 32 from Letterkenny to Dublin when you book online and travel for less. Expressway, bringing you the time at...
The time now is 11:23. Now, as we were discussing on the programme, the night before last, two buses arrived into Buncrana with, I heard the figure of 66, mostly men, if not all men, presumably asylum seekers, international protection candidates, and they were moved into accommodation in Buncrana, which is generally accepted is 3 to a room. And there's differing views on this, and we're going to hear both sides of it now. Gareth, good morning to you. We'll go with you first. How are you getting on?
Yeah, not too bad, Greg.
So what's your reaction? No, it's our pleasure. What's your reaction to the to the arrival of these men in Buncrana?
I tend to question things. So there's lots of things that have been said by individuals in that protest that I'm not sure where they're getting their information from. Obviously, people came on yesterday and said what is vetted and what is unvetted. I guess if these guys are under an asylum seeker program, they are either in the process of being vetted or vetted. So the concern that the protesters have may be unwarranted. Now, how much information the general public need to be given on individuals coming into their country is, I guess, the question that I would have. I mean, my neighbours, I don't know their criminal background. I don't know, I'll say hello to them, I'll get to know them, but I don't know their criminal backgrounds, and I don't know where they come from. Mm-hmm. So I don't think the general public need to know the background of everyone coming into their area.
But Gareth, do you think they could have an interest in the fact that these people are from different areas? They don't know each other necessarily. They may do, they may not. And that they are all being put into this accommodation, and arguably there aren't the services around them to support them, activities to entertain them, capacity in the health service for them if they require it. Do you not see that maybe even that element of it might cause some concern?
Yeah, I appreciate that. And a few months ago, there was a firework launched at one of these accommodations, and a response that I had as a person of the general public, I didn't, was to, well, what can we do to get to know these people, to find out who they are, sit down and listen to their story. And the response that myself and my wife did for that was, we know that there is what's called an intercultural cafe in Buncrana. That's an opportunity for locals to get to know some of these refugees and asylum seekers coming into the town. And we
between 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. In the exchange.
On Thursday.
What did you learn from it?
we learned that we learned some of the stories of some of these people coming in, and they come from all parts of the world, not just Ukraine, but Africa, South America, and the Middle East, and they have come from traumatic experiences. I mean, these men that came to Buncrana on Monday, obviously they're asylum seekers, so they're seeking asylum from something.
Well, that still has to be evaluated, obviously, Gareth, which is what the process is all about. But, regardless of where they're from, skin colour, whatever, do you not understand, or would you understand that maybe people that maybe, women or women with, or parents with children or what have you, might have a natural inbuilt caution now in walking past accommodation that now has, 66 odd men. I don't mean they're odd, I mean the number. I don't know the number. Sorry, I'll rephrase that, strike that. 66 men, approximately, who you don't know the background of. It's an unusual situation to have 66 people that you have no knowledge of in one area. Can you understand how people in that area might be now cautious that there could be a threat? It's a perceived threat. There's no evidence to suggest. And in fact, I've contacted the Gardaí on this on regular occasions. In Donegal, whatever about anywhere else, the arrival of refugees or international protection candidates has not seen any increase or spike. So often it is perceived. There's lots of violence that goes on, and it ain't these guys that are involved in it for the most part, right? That's what the Gardaí tell us. But can you understand how there can be a perception that it's now more dangerous and that the community is changed and there's fear there?
Oh, yeah, sure. There's perception and fear comes from the unknown, and the best way to combat that is to get informed. But sure, if a single mum walking her kids past that building is, uneasy, well, I can understand that, but in this day and age, I think as parents, and I have a child in a school in Buncrana, and we just need to be aware of everyone around us. Okay, and just to be clear, Gareth, because someone might text in, if you lived immediately beside this property, you would have no extra concerns than you have right now with the arrival of these people. Okay, that's your view, Gareth. Thanks. I would introduce myself, get to know them. Okay. And get informed. All right, Gareth, thank you very much indeed. That's Gareth's view. David, you're listening to Gareth there. What's your opinion?
Well, my opinion, Greg, is that for a start, everybody's saying that there was a man on yesterday, Death, saying that these are lovely people and all, you get to know them and all that. The people on that bus the other night were flipping us the bird, giving us the finger off the bus. Like, they weren't being nice and being afraid of coming in. They were looking to get off the bus, even though there was 100, nearly 200 people there telling them not to get off the bus. There was, apart from being unvetted is an issue, but 66 men, doesn't matter what nationality they are, if you stick them into a building, not giving them work, not giving them anything to do, they're going to get bored. Mm-hmm. They're going to start falling out with the local community. No matter what way you put it, there's always, if you take 66 men from Dublin or from Cork or Spain or anywhere, it's going to be the same thing.
But David,
they're going to get bored.
Have we seen that though? Because there's a pathway presumably for them
all
to
over the country.
I know that, Dave. Listen, I'm going to respect. I know, David. I'm going to respect you and listen to what you have to say. But if you just listen to the questions as well, and we can get to the bottom of it, and I mean that with absolute respect, David. But there is a pathway then for them to become integrated in the community. Is there not? Maybe there are job vacancies in the area or work that they can do. Does that not take time? It doesn't happen on night one, them coming in on a bus in the middle of the night. Yes, it looks terrible. Yes, maybe some of them flicked the bird because they saw a load of people saying, go home or get out of here, right? So once we get past that, do we not have to wait and see if it works? Or are you convinced that it can't work?
It can't work because there isn't work in the local community for the locals. Never mind, like Inishowen alone has lost over 600 people under the age of 25 since Christmas. Like young ones going away to Australia, America, or whatever. Like, if there was work here, them young ones would not be going. Like. Like, so why are they bringing 66 men? And when there is no work in our area for them, there just isn't. Like, there's no industry, there's no factories, there's no nothing for them people to go into work on. So what are they going to do?
Mm-hmm.
They're going to sit in basically an army barracks or a prison is basically what they're going into. They sit and be bored. And obviously they're not going to be for the smoke inside. So give 10 or 20 of them smoke, they're going to be standing outside the whole time smoking.
But David,
that's going to be uneasy for anybody walking up and down.
You know, I mean, we can dispute whether or not they're economic migrants or they're fleeing, whatever, okay? But listen, we've seen what's happening in Gaza at the moment and other parts of the world, okay? From a human perspective, you know, a fellow human being's perspective, because they are actual human beings, just like you are and like I am, do we not have a role to offer them protection, to give them a chance at life? Do we not have a responsibility there?
Done enough. I think Ireland has done enough, to be honest with you. At what point in this country do we say the hotel's full? Like, we're taking in people. There's people in Buncana at the minute with their houses having to be demolished by Micah, and they can't get another house to rent to move into. They can't. Like, I was talking to people this morning that cannot get another house to move into. Their house is scheduled for demolition, and they cannot get another house to move into. They asked me, did I know of anybody with a field that would rent them a field so they could put a mobile home into the field? That's how desperate the people of Buncrana have become.
All right, stay there.
To stop the owners of this building? What was to stop the owners of this building converting it into 6 nice big apartments and renting it out to people that had Micah? No, it's all about money. That's pure and utter greed is what this is about.
Stay there, David. Sinead Stewart is a member of Buncrana for All. Sinead, can I start with, do you at least understand or respect people's concerns with this development and how it was done, Sinead?
Hi, Greg. Good morning. Thanks for asking me on. Look, I just firstly want to say I absolutely take on board people's concerns when it comes to resources and things like that. This is something that I think everybody can agree on, is that the resources that Donegal gets, and Inishowen is it's the poor cousin of Donegal, never mind, and Donegal's the forgotten county. So everybody can agree on that. That is absolutely not in question. What I suppose, and what I don't agree with, and I suppose the group doesn't agree with, is that there's a judgment being passed on people coming to the town before they have even arrived into the town. And it only unfortunately seems to be one or two sort of sections of people who are presumed guilty of some of the, when you hear some of the rhetoric and stuff like that, and to be clear, I am not saying that everybody who was at that protest or everybody, that was, has concerns about this is employing that rhetoric or agrees with that rhetoric.
And I said it yesterday, if we park the Project Fear stuff, that in other words, people are going to come and drag you out of the house and do this, that and that, right? Because there is an awful lot of crime against children in this country and has been historically. We have almost 200,000 children living in poverty. Our child protection record in this country is crap. We are screaming out for foster carers. We're screaming out for families to adopt children that have been abandoned, abused and misused. Our figures in terms of the abuse of women, the rape of women and what have you, they're terrible. They're already there. And I think we should also focus our anger on actually sorting that out rather than a perceived threat from people coming in. That being said, Sinead, people are concerned at the potential for it. We have no idea of their background. We have no idea where they've come from, what they have done in their past. Maybe they've done nothing, but no one's given this information. We had it yesterday from Des. Some of them don't have passports, so you can give them an interview, but you can't really check what their background is and what have you. So that is going to cause fear, and people are going to be afraid of. I kind of knew my community. I knew who to avoid. I know where I live, people with a bit of a reputation. right? And that you avoid, or there's some bad in them, right? But this is a whole new group of people that people don't know the background from. Can you criticise people for thinking, is that a potential this or is that a potential that? Sinead, really, can you?
I can't criticise people for wondering, is it a potential, and thinking in terms of safety. But as we can see, and I mean, it was very much highlighted on the programme there, Greg, about with Kieran Harkin. No, we don't always know exactly what's going on. We absolutely do not always know what's going on. This is happening, and we don't always know who to avoid in the town. You know, this is something that happens across the world.
But if we are doing a national approach, Sinead, we need to surely review how we're doing this in terms of listening to the public, addressing their concerns. We can still meet our international obligations, but do this correctly, not move people around in the cover of darkness, because it's better to ask for forgiveness than permission, and that's precisely what the policy is.
And that's terrible, and I absolutely agree with you on that. It is an absolutely horrible way to be doing it. The only thing I would say to you, right, is that, so I'm sure you remember whenever we formed the welcome committee for people who were coming to Mabo, right? And there was a meeting there, and you know there was public meetings and things like that. A few days later, what happened? The place was burned to the ground. So I don't know, you know, and that was the first time that anywhere was burned to, you know, any potential asylum seekers or people seeking refuge, any accommodation.
But that's not reflective. That's not reflective of that action of an individual. We can't say is reflective of the wider community. The concerns, and I spoke to them at the time, were the fact that some people couldn't get their children into school, they couldn't get bus places, they couldn't get a booking at a GP. That was really what I heard from people, not the extreme views whereby it would drive someone. But listen, we're going to have to come back to this because it is so important. Sinead, I really appreciate your time.
Greg,
do you want to say one thing finally?
And I know you're...
Yes. No, please do.
Yeah, very, very finally. What I want to say is, look, I think we all need to be talking. I think everybody needs to be talking together as a community, right? For sure. But I also want to make sure that anybody who has come to the town, anybody who has been in the town, you know, anybody who, especially the residents in the likes of the Sailors' Rest, or anybody who's come from Ukraine or anywhere like that, please know that the vast majority of people in Buncrana are not outstanding at a protest stopping you from coming in and saying that you're not wanted. We absolutely want you here. You are more than welcome, and I just want to make sure that everybody who has come to the town knows that. Okay, Sinead, and I get what you're saying, but also I have to acknowledge that just because people didn't stand on the street, it doesn't mean they're not sitting in the front rooms having conversations as well, and everybody needs to be heard. Okay, thank you very much indeed, within reason, obviously. You understand what I'm saying, Sinead. Thank you very much indeed. David, listen, you've been heard. I think, you know, the only way we're going to get anywhere, David, is we all as a community come together and discuss this in the way we're doing now. One thing briefly, David, go ahead. Yes. Yeah.
Like Sinead's making out there that like we're racist or we're whatever.
I'm not accepting that. I'm not accepting that.
At the protest, we had Polish, we had Slovakians, we had Romanians. There was Germans.
I get
it's
you.
not just the Buncrana people.
I get you. That's not been said on this. That's not been said on this. Yeah, that has not been said on this program. And Sinead never said that.
The people are on their knees.
I understand.
I know, but I'm just saying.
But I don't want to get into the. I don't want to get into the right wing, left wing, racist, not racist stuff. I'm not doing it because we're not. Because what happens then is we can't have the convo, and we need to have the conversation. And David, you need to be able to come on, and Sinead and Kim yesterday, and Des, and we need to be able to speak together, and we don't have to call each other's names. And I know the majority of people were not motivated by race, and that's been very well reflected over the last couple of days, and that's the way I want to keep it, Dave. And I appreciate your time today. Are you happy enough?
Thank you too.
Take care, David. Bye. Okay, back with more after these.
Watch the show live now on YouTube, Facebook, and at highlandradio.com.
At
At AXA, we know running a home can run up your costs too. That's why you can save up to 30% on our home insurance. Get a quote today. Together, we've got this. AXA. Know you can. Policy terms and conditions apply. Minimum premium is €160. A 30% discount is available after 3 consecutive years claims free, 15% after 2 consecutive years, and 10% after 1 year claims free. AXA Insurance DAC is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland.
Enhance your skills with SafeTech's part-funded training programs. At SafeTech, we provide courses including first aid, roadworks, people moving and handling, confined spaces, electrofusion and machinery training for Ireland and UK sites. Also online programs such as water hygiene, construction supervisors, safety reps and much more. If you have a group for training, SafeTech will go to you. Contact SafeTech today at safetech.ie and take the first step towards upskilling and safety compliance.
Brian McCormick, Sports and Leisure, your football specialist. Adidas football boots in many ranges like Crazy Fast, Copa Pure and Predator Accuracy, Puma King Ultimate, King Top, King Future Match for kids and adults. Available in a mixture of soft and firm ground. Adidas socks and shorts, gum shields that can be remolded to improve fit. Match up your boots with Adidas or O'Neill's set of socks and shorts. Brian McCormick Sports, your football specialist. Click on bmcsports.ie or call in Main Street, Letterkenny.
Tinny's Toys, Ireland's largest farm toy superstore, isn't just about farm toys. We've loads of fun outdoor toys for kids, such as electric scooters, crazy carts, electric quads, jeeps, tractors, and so much more. Hassle-free parking at the door with no traffic jams. Our Christmas club is now open too, and a wee deposit secures your item. Tinny's Toys, Leck Road, Letterkenny, or online at tinnystoys.com. Lay down.
Join Highland Radio's outside broadcast team this Thursday afternoon from 2:40 in the Letterkenny Credit Union for their final car draw of the year. 2 lucky Letterkenny Credit Union members will each win a brand new Toyota Yaris Cross. A number of cash prizes will also be given away. So tune in this Thursday from 2:40 to hear if you're a winner with Letterkenny Credit Union.
Hickey Clark and Langan Insurance Brokers in Letterkenny are recruiting for an insurance advisor to join the team. Candidates can have a leaving certificate or relevant third-level qualification, or be qualified to approved product advisor or certified insurance practitioner standard. Apply with an up-to-date CV for immediate consideration by emailing siobhan@hcl.ie. Hickey Clark and Langan General Insurance Brokers, trading as Hickey Clark and Langan, are regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland. Business Matters in association with the Faculty of Business at ATU Donegal. For a career in financial governance, consider the Level 9 MA in Governance and IT in Financial Services, starting in January. Contact the Exec Ed Coordinator on 9186206 or email donald.hannigan@atu.ie today.
Okay, Kieran O'Donnell, good morning to you.
Good morning, Greg.
Good to have you on the programme. We're looking forward to the Business Matters podcast, which is live right now on our website. But let's catch up on some news first, because we are tight for time. Leo Support Clinic, tell us about this.
Donegal Local Enterprise Office will hold its next Business Support Clinic in Buncrana on Friday week. That's October 27th from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Those who attend the event will find out more about the enterprise supports that exist and how they may help to develop a business.
All right, the Sustainability Conference. Good turnout.
Sustainability for Business / Green Skills for Success. It was a conference held by Letterkenny Chamber of Commerce in association with Tech Northwest SkillNet, and was held at the TCS campus down below us here last Thursday morning, Greg. It proved a big success, over 40 businesses in attendance.
That's good.
So the event was organised to stimulate interest in the sustainability issues, which obviously are big issues at the minute, and how they are impacting businesses locally. Business owners heard contributions from a number of industry experts who talked about their experiences and the various stages of progress they're making on their sustainable journeys. Really interesting, and it's an issue that's going to be a bigger player for businesses as we go forward.
All right, talk to me about the Laurentic Forum.
Yeah, just caught this yesterday. This year's Laurentic Forum, which will have the overarching theme of sustainable coastal communities, will take place at the ATU campus in Killybegs next month. The 3-day hybrid conference will be held from Tuesday, November the 7th to Thursday, November the 9th. The first day will look at sustainable tourism and the creative economy, with the second and third days focusing on the blue economy within the partner regions. And for more info on that, Greg, log on to laurenticforum.com.
The Laurentic's a boat, isn't it?
Yep.
I think the cannon's one of the cannons is up in Downings. It is the Laurentic?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Enterprise Awards for this year.
Yeah, they'll be long coming around, Greg. Applications are now open for local enterprise office Donegal Enterprise Awards for 2023. So with 11 categories and a prize fund of €14,000, this is a good opportunity for local businesses to get recognition for their achievements over the year.
Yeah.
The closing date for entries, Greg, is Monday, October the 23rd at 12 noon. And to enter and find out more about the awards, check out Donegal Local Enterprise Office's social media platforms.
And if you want to own a Garda station.
Yeah, former Garda station Gilmore will be sold at a live stream property auction on Friday, November the 3rd. The station at Bunbeg has a reserve price of €30,000 and the sale has been attracting plenty of attention over the last week. The building, which comes with its own holding cell, is being auctioned by estate agents O'Donnell and Joyce.
I'd say it could tell some stories.
I was just thinking that.
Yeah, indeed. All right.
Walls could talk.
Exactly. Right, your guest on this week's podcast, Kieran.
My guest this week, Greg, is the owner of the station house in Letterkenny, Brian Gallagher. Brian began to explore the possibility of building a hotel on the family site along Old Town Road in 2002. Construction began in September 2005 and the 81-bedroom hotel opened its doors on August the 1st, 2006. Built by local contractors, Boyle Construction, the Station House Hotel employs a team of 50 people. In this clip, Greg, Brian talks about coming up with the idea to build a hotel on the well-known site at the bottom of the town back in the early 2000s.
We thought on various things, maybe some retail, apartments, and we figured then there were enough apartments in the Lower Main Street that maybe a hotel. There was an urban renewal scheme on shortly before that, or in around that time, and I remember being at a meeting and there was some talk about tax reliefs for hotels, that there were 100% tax relief on hotels. So I went away, I'd done a bit of homework. I approached my accountant, Pat Keaton, Stuart and McLaughlin. Thought I said I was thinking of building a hotel. Pat says, right. I don't know what he thought, but says that's in my head anyway. Pat, he says, well, you need to get a business plan done. So there were a young man at that stage. He was lecturing in business and marketing, Billy Bennett, and he said, if you go to Billy might do a business plan. That's the first thing you'll need. So I approached Billy and I said, Billy, we're thinking on building a hotel. We need a business plan. I do feel that it would work.
All right, Brian Gallagher there. Now, the full interview with Brian is available for you right now to stream or download from our website, highlandradio.com, wherever you get your podcasts, providing it's Spotify or iTunes. And Business Matters is broadcast this Sunday evening after the 6 o'clock news, Kieran, but it is the last one with you at the helm.
Thanks, Greg.
Well, give me a mic here.
Moving on, Greg, after 3.5 very good years, and listen, it's been a great experience.
How many podcasts?
167.
Wow.
Apart from one, I wasn't in great form over Christmas 2020 when I had the COVID.
Well, that's because you had COVID 10 times.
John Breslin stood in, but look, it was. Look, I always had a passion interest in business, Greg, but I learned so much about an area that I didn't really know a whole lot about.
Yeah.
The people that I went there were very welcoming, and I would like to think that when the podcast started out, as well, somebody asked me what I wanted to be, and I said I would like it to be a friend to businesses, and I would like to think that I hope that might be the case.
Yeah, for sure, no doubt about it. And there's a fantastic archive of stuff there that you can always reflect on. And best of luck with your future endeavours, which includes a marathon.
Yeah,
which is not why you've stopped doing the Business Matters podcast.
So thanks for that opportunity, Greg. There are 20 members from Letterkenny Athletic Club taking part in 2 marathons on the last Sunday in October. There are 16 of us going to Dublin and there are 4 going to Frankfurt, and collectively we are raising money for the Irish Motor Neuron Disease Association. There's a member of our own club that is living with motor neurons at the minute. We'll be thinking about him, and anybody that they have any donation, big or small, there's a GoFundMe page there. We'd appreciate any donation.
All right, Kieran, thank you very much indeed, and thank you for the production of a brilliant podcast. And as I say, we're going to miss you coming in on a Wednesday. But thank you.
Wednesdays will not be the same. I'll still be programmed ready to get into the car. I was saying, come up here for a wee while.
Oh, don't. Right, thanks, Kieran.
Thanks, Greg. Best luck.
Now, Business Matters takes a short siesta and will return in the not too distant future. But again, thank you so much to Kieran O'Donnell for all of his endeavours over the last 167 episodes. Okay, all right, Kieran, it's goodbye now. I've got more important guests. He doesn't want to go.
Wonder where they're going to sit there.
Right, okay. We have 4 young people in studio with us. We have students and the principal of St. Sapphin's National School, Castlefin, all in situ. And we'll just move this slightly that way so I can hear you. Tracy McBride, do you want to introduce our guests to us?
Indeed. Greg, here beside you today, you have James McGranahan, Owen O'Mahony and Ethan Shovlin, all pupils of St. Sapphin's National School.
Thank you so much, guys. Ethan, where are you? Which one are you, Ethan? Well, you're going to have to speak up a bit, Ethan.
I'm here.
Okay, how are you getting on?
Good.
Okay. Now, why are you in here, Ethan?
To tell you about the tractor run.
Okay, and what's happening?
Tractor run, there will be tractors, lorries and trucks and vintage cars.
Just you move back slightly. Go on, so I can hear you. That's it. Good lad.
And there'll be like rally cars and motorbikes and stuff. And there'll be a craft fair with 25 stalls. And they'll be selling jewellery, candles, bacon,
You can sit down now, Tracy. I'll look
toys
after you.
and
Thanks.
clothes.
Okay. Are you looking forward to it?
Yeah, I can't
All right,
wait for
okay.
it.
Do you like tractors?
Yep, I
Classic cars?
No, not much.
Really? Okay, that's fine. I won't give you my one then. Ethan, where are you?
No, that was Ethan.
That was Ethan. Sorry, I beg your pardon. Owen.
I'm here.
Yeah, come on, Owen. Now, you look the part here. I love your cap. Tell us about your cap.
Well, I got this cap for Christmas last year, and just...
You haven't took it off since?
No.
Now, we can't see on the camera or hear on the radio, but you've got a fine pair of boots on. You talk to me about them. Not normal school wear, I would say.
No.
You got to wear them especially for today.
Mm-hmm.
Right, tell us, what are you looking forward to about the tractor run and craft fair on Sunday?
Well, I'm most looking forward to just the tractor run. Just
Yeah.
getting a run, and, well,
Do you have a favourite tractor?
yeah.
What is it?
New Hollands.
New Hollands. All right. What colour's that?
Blue.
Oh, I know the ones now. They're big. That's your dream to have one of them.
Yeah.
And what about any old vintage tractors? Have you any interest in them? Now 135.
No, well...
Blow your
Fords.
hat off, wouldn't it, without the cap on?
Well, Fords.
Fords. Okay. I have to be careful what I say even in jest now, because I can end up getting in trouble. I have to be really careful. Okay, James McGranahan, are you excited for Sunday?
Yes, I'm very excited.
What do you like about, what are you looking forward to most?
I'm looking forward to most the run itself and the music by Kenny Crawford and the Best Dressed Dog and pumpkin carving.
Pumpkin carving, that's a
Yeah.
mess. I have a pumpkin at home and I don't even know where to start. Probably take the top off it, but I'm not looking forward to it. Maybe bring it with me. So we're talking about this weekend. It's a tractor run and craft fair taking place on Sunday. Tractor registration from 11 a.m. with the run commencing at 12:30 p.m. There's going to be tractors, trucks, lorries, bikes, vintage and modified cars, and all welcome to join in the run, with proceeds going to the Donegal Hospice and St. Sapphin's National School. And as you said there, James, live music on the day as well.
Yeah.
All right, okay. And you're looking forward to the tractors. Are you in one, or are you just going to be watching
I'm
them?
going to be in one.
Oh, do you know which one it is?
Yes, I'm going to be in a Sammy with my granddad.
Oh, fantastic. Brilliant. Okay. And he's going to have to wash it all day Saturday. It's going to have to look decent. There's no point landing with it filthy. All right. And are you interested in the classic cars or the tractor or the lorries, or?
Not really,
Because
no.
you're all tractor boys, aren't you? It's okay. Tracy, it's going to be a great day, isn't it? And raising funds for the school, which is fantastic. Tell us a little bit about the school and Donegal Hospice. We'll talk about the school first.
Yeah, so we're situated just outside Castlefin, Greg. We're in a quite rural area, so I suppose this is our second tractor run, and we've had our first one was a huge success with over 300 tractors, and I suppose we were looking to raise money this year to put an outdoor classroom onto the school grounds. And we said, why not run a tractor run again? But this year we decided to share our profits with the Donegal Hospice. So we've had unbelievable support, not just from our parents. We've had amazing support from community volunteers, from the CPA Centre where it's been held, and people who aren't even associated with the school. You know, there's a great sense of community spirit in Castlefin. Gareth Porter and his brother Andrew have given us their yard as well, because we need more space. So between Stephen Kennedy and the CPA and Gareth and his brother Andrew with their own ground, their own farming grounds, they've been very supportive of us, and I suppose it's just a testament to the community as well, you know, and it's a real community day out. So whether people have tractors or trucks or bikes or whatnot, or they don't and they're just coming, you know, there will be a great I suppose interest there for families in general.
People love them. I love tractor runs. I love them, and especially when you've got lorries and trucks and everything else involved.
That's it, yeah. And Owen's coming in a really amazing. It's we didn't even tell you about this, but Owen's coming in and not a tractor.
Right. What is it, Owen?
Well, it's a bread van with the back taken off it and a cattle body put onto it.
Oh, wow.
A remodelled bread van.
Right,
so.
oh, this is one of the modified yokes. Right, lads, anyone you want to say hello to? Anything you want to say, Ethan?
I want to say hello to our teacher, Mr. Foy.
Okay, right, and you're asking him no homework, is that it? Is that what you said? Yeah. Oh, and I heard that, all right. Owen?
I'd like to say hello to my mum and my granny.
Excellent. I'm sure not only they're listening, I'm sure they're watching you too. Very, very proud of you, Owen. What about you, James?
I really like to say hello to my mother and father and my granny.
And who did your hair? Yourself? Because it is perfect. There's not a hair out of place.
My father did.
Well, I think he deserves an award. Okay. Listen, have a fantastic day on Sunday, will you?
Yeah.
All right, and enjoy it. And Tracy, thank you very much for bringing them.
Yeah, they have a wee present for you here,
Greg,
too, actually.
Okay, is it a hat? Yeah. Give it to me over here, quickly, to stick it on. We have to go. What does it say? Right, this is now.
That'll keep you warm for the winter.
That's it. You see, the thing about me is when you give me a present, I actually use it. I've got a cup that was given to me about 6 years ago, and I still use it every single day. This hat now is part of my wardrobe. Thank you so very much. Have a great day Sunday.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much indeed to Ethan, Owen, James, and last but not least, Tracy, students and principal of St. Sapphin's National School in Castlefin. They're looking to raise money to develop the school. It's a weekend tractor run and craft fair. It's taking place on Sunday, October 22nd. Register your vehicles from 11 a.m. It starts at 12:30 p.m. If you're not in it, get out and enjoy it. It's going to be a fantastic day, as I say, and also supporting Donegal Hospice. There's going to be live music, fancy dress, a pumpkin carving competition. What a way to spend your Sunday. Free refreshments also for all drivers and free entry for the general public. Okay, on Sunday to drive a tractor. No problem. I've got it on my licence. I got my licence that long ago. I'll see what time it is and if I can squeeze it in and get planning permission. All right, listen, thank you all very much. We're going to be going a little bit late to the news, but you know what? It's for a good cause. See you tomorrow.